What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies? So y'all know on a Thursday, and I'm on color people time. If you don't know what color people time, that means I'm late to everything. And this is my house. I'm late to my live stream in my own house. That should tell you something about this, how strong the CPT is. I almost need a benefits package or something like disability because I can't be on time. It's almost like a disability. But anyway, I got a dream team with me. Y'all already know what it is. We normally have the panel on Thursday. People been begging me, bring the panel back. So I got my squad with me. So y'all, without further ado, I bringing them in. We got ABL, we got David Harris, JR, and we got my boy Trayvon. So real quick, man, because this may be people's first time, getting a little hint of what's going on. So I want everybody to kind of give a brief synopsis of who they are. So I'll start with you, ABL. ABL, give it like a 30-second synopsis of who you are, what you all about, man.
All right. Well, I'm ABL, like you already said. I do a lot of politics talk here on YouTube. Got the website. That's pretty much what I do. I talk about things that are happening. I give you the media's news in the real way. They put the crazy spin on it, the liberal spin on it. I give it to you in a real fashion that's easy to understand. So that's what I do.
All right, my boy David Harris, JR. Y'all know who David Harris, JR is. He got way more followers than me, so y'all better know who he is. David Harris, what you got, brother?
What's happening, Brandon? Thank you so much, man, for having me on tonight. It's a pleasure just to know you. Known you for 3-4 years now. Honor, man. I can't wait for your book to come out. I speak. I'm an author as well. I wrote a book, Why I Couldn't Stay Silent, and talking about what it's like being a Black conservative in America. I have my own show as well. I focus normally on Facebook and Twitter. YouTube is not just treating me very well, but Brandon, you've given me some tips on how to try to help raise that up. So I like ABL. I try to bring the truth and break through the minutia of propaganda that's nonstop flooding the airwaves and trying to wake up as many people as possible. So many of our family and friends are continually just drawn in to the deception. I believe it's absolutely deception that the mainstream media, the liberal mainstream media, continues to push. So I try to wake people up, man. And I love talking about Papa, my daddy. He's good. We have a good God. And for those of you that don't understand that, then hopefully somewhere in your life sooner than later you'll understand what I'm talking about. But God is good, and married 27 years. I'm probably the oldest one on here. But 2 daughters, and just love life, man, and trying to fight to keep our country on the right track.
Amen. Appreciate it. My boy Bryson Gray, what it do? Everybody knows you're a rapper. I want you to give him a synopsis. I don't know why the stream is like 400 people on the stream. something is afoot. So we'll try to keep talking to see if we have to restart it. Because it's all messed up. But go ahead, Bryson.
I'm Bryson Gray, and most people know I do music. Other than that, I'm all the phobias. I'm the boogeyman. I'm the person that everybody is scared to talk to. So, I'm in the flesh. I'm in the building.
Awesome. So we gonna get right into the hot topic of the day, man. And we ain't got to go too deep in it, but I really want us to speak on this because it's been going around the social circles about the gubernatorial race in California, right? So,
straight to it, huh? Straight to the hot topic.
We're going straight to it.
Yes,
to
sir.
the chase. Let me think. Do I need to? Because I feel like YouTube trying to stifle me right now. I think I'm looking at the thing. We normally have 10,000 people on here.
See, that's the kind of love YouTube gives me. Maybe they saw my name in here, man.
They said 500 people. I'm trying to give it a chance to grow before I started because something could be wrong. It looked like it's kind of popping up. Maybe the notifications will come in slowly but surely, but that's crazy. Anyway, so everybody know the Caitlyn Jenner person is running for governor. I'm gonna give my personal opinion, and I want to hear from you guys because I know that we all think for ourselves. We may be similar in a lot of cases. Maybe we have difference of opinion in this, but my thing is that I feel that Caitlyn Jenner, I think he's confused about who he is. For him to transition so late in life and then transition just to be with a woman and then say on an interview that biological men in female sports is unfair, yet he accepted an award as a man for female of the year. And then I believe he hasn't done anything
Is this
in
real
his
life?
career.
Is
He
this,
haven't
this
done
is real
anything in
life?
his career. I don't know. He was a Kardashian. That's what he was. He was a Kardashian. He was an athlete, then he was a Kardashian, and then he went crazy. So
Man.
that's how I look at it. I don't think the person is reasonable enough to be a Republican. I would never support Mr. Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner or whatever he want to be. I don't know. I won't support that person. I don't think that's the right move for the conservative movement. So I don't know. Y'all, I'm gonna pass it around. ABL, what you think, man?
I mean, my take is different. I feel like this. You're in California. California pretty much is lost. What are you going to do to get anybody that has any kind of inkling of conservative values there? I mean, it's to the point now where if you go to San Francisco, you could pretty much just kneel down, duty right on the ground, and it's fine. Nobody's going to say anything to you. It won't be a problem. They've gamified it. They got an app where you can avoid people that have doo-doo on the ground. It's an app where it says it. And then if you zoom out, the whole map is just full of marks. People have just gone on the ground. They have heroin out in the open. There's no big deal to shoot heroin, to smoke crack, to smoke meth. You could do whatever you want. You can go into a store and steal. If it's below like $1,000, they're not even going to. They ain't gonna say nothing to you. Just go take whatever you want. It's fine. So when that's going on, I feel like beggars can't be choosers. So if Caitlyn, Bruce Gender, whatever he wants to call himself, wants to be the governor, and he has any kind of inkling of conservative values, I mean, you might as well take it, because if you don't, what you're going to get? You're going to get a Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is worse. Bruce Gender came out and said, hey, I'm against trans boys playing against, or whatever, boys that consider themselves to be trans playing against biological girls. He says he's against it. But a guy like Gavin Newsom is not going to agree with that. So if you don't go that direction with Bruce Gender, you're going to get Gavin Newsom part 2, Nancy Pelosi's nephew. So I'm trying to figure out, like, are we just going to be so rock solid on their principles as conservatives to where we just abandon the state of California? Because if you're going to do that, let's just let that be known. And then everybody that's there, I will just give an advisory. Go ahead and flee. If you're conservative and you have true conservative values, go ahead and leave and just abandon the state. Or you could try to go a different direction outside the box and figure out a way to try to save it.
Hey, I got to say, man, pretty compelling. David Harris, what you think about the whole thing?
Well, I'm a California kid, so I love the state. I was born and raised there. Absolutely just disgusted at the continual progressive move to just turn it into a socialist state, which it pretty much is right now. I mean, it's a heartbeat away from being full-blown socialism there. The crackdowns, the mandates in counties all over the state where they didn't even have high COVID numbers. And yet they still, the mandate was still locking things down, while meanwhile then giving pretty much carte blanche to illegal aliens. We're all for legal immigration. I am, but it's the illegal immigration and that stance that governor has taken, and that the politics of California have taken, that have just turned California into a place where, I mean, that's why I moved to Texas. I've got a Don't California My Texas shirt, but I wore my Don't California My Arizona shirt for you tonight, Brandon, because I know you're in Arizona. But we've got them for Florida. I mean, it's like people are leaving the state, like ABL said, like crazy. So when it comes back to Jenner, a man that by all rights, tasted a lot of heights that individuals will never taste in this country. The Olympian that he was, and then the fame that came with being with the Kardashians and all that stuff. For him to then change or come out that he needs to, make surgical adjustments to his anatomy in order to fit in, it's like, to me personally, that is a mental health issue. That's, somebody wants to chop off a part of their body to make them feel more natural. That's, I'm gonna chop off both my arms and that's I'm gonna feel more what? So to me, that's just off base. But to ABL's point, California needs something better than Newsom. I mean, I'm still waiting to see who else is going to try to jump in the running. I know some of the names that are in there. California needs some dire help, and if the masses of California don't have, again, it's like you've got the mainstream media, and who are they going to prop up? Because they're going to prop somebody up, and Jenner's got a ton of accolades and is accepted, except by the LGBT community now because of his statements on transgender boys, girls, trans boys, I guess it is. So it's like, what is California going to do? It's really going to come down to, I think, who else is in the race. But I think as the masses of California, they know, I mean, it's a recall of Gavin Newsom. They know they don't want the politics and policies of Gavin Newsom to control their state any longer. And so far, everything that Jenner has said is a lot better, is a light speed ahead. He said he's for the wall. He's for ICE. He's for Border Patrol. He's for girl sports. He's for girls being able to do that. So, he's saying all the right things. It's just sad that he's still not considered himself as Bruce. I think if he was actually still Bruce Jenner, it'd be, full steam ahead. But that twist in his brain where, in his mind, his heart, obviously something's off in there for that personal choice that he made makes it really hard to then, as a conservative, to want to support somebody like that, especially when we just had, a full 6+ months of the Health and Human Services secretary that's trans that Biden propped up. And it's like, here, this man is overweight and he's not a female, and yet he wants to give people health advice. So it's like they're totally commingled in my mind, and it's just hard. As a conservative, it'd be hard to vote for Jenner. I'm not in California anymore, so I don't have to make that decision. But for those that are in California, you better pray you got somebody with some good, strong conservative values that has their head more on and heart more clear and straight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's two good opinions. I have to say that, I'm hard-nosed against this dude, being a governor. However, I think you guys made some pretty good points, ABL, and because and I'm gonna get to you, Bryce, because I know you got something to say. But it's kind of interesting because I don't live there, so I can almost care less. I couldn't care less. But however, I do think that people are faced with a real reality. Like, they're gonna have to really vote at some point. At some point, somebody's gonna have to vote. It ain't me, but somebody there is gonna have to vote, and those could be some considerations. Now, Bryson.
Yes, sir.
Now I know that you almost about as radical as me when it comes to just the Caitlyn Jenner whole finagle thing, but let me know what you think about it without getting me banned on YouTube.
I will try my hardest. So I'm gonna pull up. I gotta give you a little bit of that Bible, but before I give you that Bible, let's talk about common sense. So even if you don't believe in God, you can't deny this fact. Let's go over a simple fact. First off, Bruce Jenner, his name is Bruce, and he is a he. Bruce Jenner went against Trump, pulled back his support for Trump because of Trump's anti-LGBT policies. So he's saying whatever he had to say now because he knows that most conservatives, just like most liberals, are ignorant. They listen to what's in front of their face at the time, in the moment. This person will say anything they need to right now, then switch it up once they get in office, because we already know he's against Trump's anti-LGBT policies because he said it and it was public. Now, secondly, let's talk simple math. I'm not a mathematician, but let's just talk simple math. Bruce Jenner has conservative policies. Will leftists support them policies? No. Common sense. So no leftist is going to come to the Republican Party because Bruce Jenner is running. So, and people only think about it in the terms of California, but you have to think about it as a lot of mainstream conservatives are propping up this person, and a lot of us, people like me, are watching them do it. So now we're talking about the entire GOP, the effect it's going to have. So nobody is coming from the left to support Bruce Jenner because it doesn't matter. So now let's talk about what's going to happen with the right. You already seeing it. It's a huge split. People like me, I'm going to let you know for a fact, I will never support the GOP again if they continue pushing that person. Period. It will never happen. No money, no nothing, no anything. And a lot of people feel like me. So not only are you not gaining from the left, you're going to lose in the right. There's not enough LGBT people to make up for the hardcore Christians you can potentially lose. So mathematically, this is the most ignorant plan, the ignorant marketing scheme I've ever seen a day in my entire life. Look at it. Everybody's already talking about it, and you see it split, either negative or positive. But the people that's looking at it negatively, they're telling you that they're not ever supporting them again. And if you ignore that, you just got to be dumb. Now, from a biblical standpoint, let's get to that Bible. That's what we need to do real quick. Proverbs 17:15. Those that justify wickedness is an abomination to the Lord, And we know what happens to the abominable in Revelation 21:8. And we know that cross-dressing, according to the Bible, you can see many verses about it, is abominable to the Lord. So if you claim to be a Christian and you are finding yourself justifying this wickedness, in most of the core base of the GOP are Christians, you're being abominable to the Lord. Check yourself. Do you care about this world more and the politics of it, or do you pick God first? God, politics. If you pick politics first, if you say things like, we have to separate religion and politics, that means you don't have faith to begin with, because your faith is supposed to influence everything else in your life if you claim to be a Christian.
Hey, man, everybody has some pretty good stuff to say, man. I think mathematically it's almost impossible for Jenner to win anyway. I think Bryson made a good point about the fact that if he is coming out ultra conservative, he's going to turn off most of the Democrats in California anyway, which there's more registered vote Democrats plus the illegals that are going to be in there. It's going to be an upward battle, but they're going to end up messing up the GOP. Let's get to another controversial. I don't know if this is controversial. It was controversial to me, but I don't know if it's controversial. Yeah. So, Joe Schmo, Quid Pro Joe, Geriatric Joe had his address to Congress, but then there was a rebuttal from Tim Scott. I made a video about this, and I made a video saying that I was very disappointed in Tim Scott because I felt like he had an incredible speech and then he pandered. My quick opinion about it, and I'll let you guys, give your take on it, is that I felt like when he started going down the path of saying, I've been pulled over for no reason, I'm followed around the store, and then he said something like, we got a long way to go of racial healing in our country. I just feel like he lost me there because I thought it was a pander, because how far we got to go with racism? You ain't never going to stop people's hearts. So I don't know why he would make that statement. And they always use this. If y'all noticed, they always used, I was pulled over for no reason and I was followed around a store. If being followed around a store bothers you to the point where you feel like this country is systemically racist and it needs some adjustment because somebody followed you in the store, I just feel like you must be weak or crazy, one of the two. So I give his speech a 5 because I thought he said everything he should have said, but then the pandering threw me off. So ABL, what you think about Tim Scott's rebuttal speech, or whatever you call it, to Biden's congressional address?
Well, I kind of feel the same way you did. Like, I was watching that live and I was reacting to it. And when he went down the whole road of, well, I was pulled over for no reason, I followed around the store, I'm like, man, why do that? Because the thing about it is this: when you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. They go all the way to the sun with it. They're going to take that and say, see, he said it right there. He says that he gets pulled for no reason. That's why Philando Castile got shot. And he gets followed around the store. That's why you got racism and white supremacy. They're going to use that as a weapon against us. And the thing is, it's like, all right, people don't really get pulled over like that for no reason. That's not really a thing that happens. I mean, I've been driving for a long time, 20-something years. And, I might get pulled over for I got a bad tag, or I might have been speeding. I've not really been pulled over in about the past 10 to 15 years. I really don't have those kind of problems. Most people don't. So to make it be like there's a thing that happens against most black people, if you're a conservative, like if you say that as a conservative, you're sending a total wrong message. Now, I do like some of what he said. Some of what he said was pretty good. He was talking about how the media is trying to attack him and stuff like that. I like that part. But see, he needed to just have a better speech. Leave out all the racial stuff. Leave out all the things they could take and use against us. Because once you do something like that, you could have had a great speech from top to bottom. And then you put in that one or two little things about race, and then it just kills the whole thing, because now that's going to be the focus. And sure enough, they did just that. When they were on MSNBC with the lady Tiffany Cross, she said, well, Tim Scott, you said that you could pull by police and follow around the store, but you want to say that America's not racist. How are you going to say that and then say this? You're a hypocrite. And it's like, I'm mad at her, but at the same time, how can I blame her? I knew she was going to do that because it's obvious. He gave her that out. So good speech, aside from where he was not good, which kind of killed the good, unfortunately.
100%, dude. That's one of my biggest things, the contradiction. We don't live in a racist country. And then he turned around and say, I've been followed around the store. Brother, you're saying that you have been racially profiled and you're not given a time period. Are you followed around the store as a senator? Have you been pulled over for no reason? He said he been pulled over for no reason like 18 times. Like, brother, as a senator, so you're saying that there's no racism, but as a black man in the Senate, living in, I'm assuming in DC or maybe in Carolina where he's from, or South Carolina, he's from South Carolina. You're saying that there is pervasive racism within the police department. What are you even saying right now? Anyway, David, what do you think, man?
I thought I side with you guys. I liked his speech initially where he was trying to go with it. I didn't see the pandering back. I'm just kind of picking that up from what you guys have said. But it sounds like, I mean, I know he took some flack. I know there was an Oreo comment by somebody in Texas, I think, that's stepping down. My issue is this, you know, we, as a conservative and as a believer and as a sane American, as a sane person, I can't say that racism doesn't exist, right? That doesn't make any sense. There's stupid people out there. There's bigots out there. There's people that'll hate you for whatever reason. There's people that'll hate you not because of the color of your skin, but because you're too tall or too fat or too short or whatever. So there's always going to be ignorant people out there that have a bias about you towards whatever. You know, unlike ABL, I have been pulled over. It wasn't no reason. It was mistaken identity. It's crazy. It was within a period of 3 weeks. Actually, I was in Fresno, California, and I was standing outside of a store waiting for somebody to show up. And I was on the phone, and the cop rolls up, and he grabbed my hand on the phone. He grabs my hand, puts it behind my back. Grab my other hand, put it behind my back, and it's like, just stay there. I'm like, what is going on? I'm just standing here. I just came out of that pub right there. And he's like, just stand there. And I just stood there. I didn't cause a fit, nothing else. And about 5 minutes later, the sergeant rolls up and he walks up, and I'm like, I just came out of there. You can go verify it. He went over and checked. He came back and he's like, sorry, there was a robbery around the corner. It was a tall black guy in a leather jacket. I happen to have a black leather jacket on. 3 weeks later, I'm driving my car and I got a helicopter following me. And then I see the sirens.
Dang, OJ.
What?
Dang, OJ Simpson.
Right? That's what it felt like. Helicopters, literally. I see his helicopter. I'm like, oh, okay. That's interesting. Then I see a cop car behind me. Then I see his lights come on. They pull me over. And I was bumping. Bryson wasn't around then. So I was bumping gospel gangsters. And I was just like, I had it blaring. I was like waiting for him to walk up. And they didn't walk up to the car. So I finally turned, look out my window, and the cop has got his door open. He's got his gun drawn. He's like, get your hands up, get your hands up. This is 3 weeks later. So I put my hands up, and then they come and they get me out of the car, and they're like, you were the work I was doing, I was making house calls, and the area I came out of, a robbery had just happened. And they thought my car it fit the description of the car that left, and somebody got shot. And so that's why they pulled me over. So I could easily take those things, right? If I had a chip on my shoulder, or I had this victim mentality put on me that I accepted from the mainstream media talking about America is racist, I could use both those instances as reasons to say that. But the problem is those are instances, and there were reasons that happened. And too many people out there are taking individual instances and then trying to paint a broad brush on all the police or our entire country. And anybody that's doing that, they're anti-American, they're ignorant, and I don't want to listen to him. So it sounds like Tim Scott kind of backpedaled some. He shouldn't have pandered. We have to acknowledge, you know, that racism exists, but we got to keep it as minimal as it is. It is not stopping anybody from doing anything that they want to do in this country, period.
I agree 1,000%. Bryson, what you think, man?
Listen, I've been mistreated by the cops before. The problem with the narrative is the cop I was mistreated by was a black lesbian. So you can't use this nonsense. Listen, the pandering doesn't work. Look at, once again, mathematics, people. Let's look at the math. What percent of the white vote did Trump lose in 2020? And then let's try to balance that out with how much of the black vote he gained. Is it worth it? The real question is always, is it worth it mathematically? If it isn't, stop pandering. Trump didn't need to pander. Black people naturally like Trump. It's been like that for a very long time in the hip-hop community. That's why he was gaining in black voters anyway. He didn't need to do extra pandering, just like GOP doesn't need to do extra pandering now. Tim Scott, all he does and all he's doing is giving the left ammo to attack us. And what we gonna say if our own said it? All you doing is giving them ammo. My message is to any Republican, any conservative, stop caring about what the left thinks about you. They don't like you. And there's nothing you can say to make them like you. So just stand on your principles and don't pander to people, and we'll be just fine. I promise you.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all kind of come to a consensus on that. It's like, what's the point of doing the pandering? Just keep it 100. Be yourself. Express the things that you know to be true, and you don't have to try to trick and swindle people into believing it. Oh, look, we're not racist, so let's say these things because they backfire on you. Just like him, Tim Scott said a bunch of incredible things. He sounded really good, and they were using him as the black response to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's why they picked him, I believe, because they couldn't pick a white man because then it'll go south and they'll say, oh, look at the racist response and white supremacy, and so they had to use a brother to counteract what Biden was saying, and he did an incredible job reading the thing, but then he went completely, bogus. So I want to talk about messaging for a minute, because I think a lot of people, within the conservative movement and outside the conservative movement, everybody's talking about messaging, So do you guys think, in personal opinion, your personal opinion, do you guys think that telling minorities or black people specifically to get off the plantation is overreaching? Should we not use that terminology when speaking about the black community? Whoever want to take it.
I got that. Now,
all right, I'm right after you then, ABL. Come on now.
Leave
something me.
Now, I don't think it's really that serious. Like, that's the thing people say, oh, don't say the plantation, don't say this, don't say that. They're going to say so many don't says, you don't say anything. They don't want you to talk at all. It's an excuse because I come from the hood myself, and I done heard a lot worse things than that. Just from your grandmama. Your grandmama talked worse than that, cussing and fussing and everything else. So this whole get off the plantation thing is not really that serious. Like, a lot of us grew up kind of hard, grew up kind of hearing stuff like that. It's not really a big deal. And quite frankly, for people like me and others that I know, it worked because you're looking at yourself and it's like, wow, am I being controlled? Am I a puppet? Am I a pet? Like, what am I doing here over on this side? How am I really being treated? How am I really being seen? So it kind of clicked for people like me and others. People, they call me all the time on my show when they say, hey, your message and what you say and things that you say and how you say it, it helped me to see the light. It helped me to see what's really going on and look at things in a different way. People that say that, I don't really understand. I feel like it's just hate. It's just hate. And then, it's really just envy as well, because they wish that they can have the voice that those who say things like that have, but they don't have that kind of voice. Maybe if they spoke more like how we speak and say the things that we say, maybe they would have more effect. Maybe they'd be more well-known. But since they're not saying things like that, and Bryson, you're right about the pandering, they're trying to pander. They're trying to say things that they think will work, but it's not working. And we're saying things that are working. So it's like, they just can't really put two and two together. So no, words like the plantation and stuff like that, it's not really a big deal. Just be honest with yourself, say what you feel. And that's the main thing. You got to be honest. You got to be a truthful person. People can seek when something is, they can feel when it's fake and it's not really real. And if you're doing that, then you've pretty much lost. So just be real.
David?
Yeah, I have, for me, when it comes to communication and talking to somebody, again, it's always who am I talking to? Where am I speaking at? I understand the side of the conversation that says don't use that terminology, because I've been in sales for a long time, 20 plus years, and sales is always about just communication. It's all about communicating your point. And if you're trying to communicate a point with somebody, you have to get on common ground with them. And if you're going to get on common ground with them so that they can feel like they have the ability to actually listen to what you have to say, it's hard to get on that common ground starting off with a negative, right? Like, leave the plantation. ABL, you said you that woke you up, but I can't see somebody just saying you need to leave the plantation and it worked right then. Maybe you planted a seed that made you go do some research, and then that research led you to a new conclusion. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but initially, if we're trying to speak to people that are Democrats, especially the Black community, Hispanic community, really anybody that's a Democrat, but especially obviously in the Black community, we should be talking to them about, and I try to talk to them about issues that matter, that should matter, that used to matter a lot to the Black community, that should matter to everybody, but things that plant seeds on issues and policies of the different platforms to make them do their research. You know, I had one elderly gentleman. He was in his 60s, and he said that, you know, he said, write down all the things that matter to you. You know, faith, family, your freedom, your individual liberties. Write down all these things. If you're pro-life, write down all these things. And he's wrote down all these things, and then he said, now go line that up with the party platforms and see where you're at. And when he wrote them all down, he realized he sided more with the Republican side, the platform, than the Democrat platform. And he's like, how is this even possible? He's all, because you've been lied to. You know, there's propaganda, there's mainstream media, there's politicians. And unfortunately, I always get on a soapbox when it comes to black preachers that continue to allow these Democrat politicians in the church to exploit the church. And then the church is voting for Democrats, which Democrats are all for killing babies and disproportionately killing black babies. It's insane to me that that's crept into the church like that, and that pastors allow that to happen. Off topic a little bit, but so overall, I could see where that argument or that conversation is coming from with leading the conversation. I would never lead the conversation with somebody that I'm trying to wake up a red pill by saying you're on the plantation. Maybe that'll come up after they realize they're on the plantation, right? But so that's kind of where I side.
Awesome. Bryson,
Listen,
I feel like Bryson's blood pressure going on. Hold on, Bryson. One second. So we had a fan of ABL said, I can't believe how much I love Anthony B. Logan. All right.
Nice.
So he married. So you better stop that. He married.
Hey, I ain't trying to get shot tonight. I'm trying to have everything be nice and peaceful.
All right, Bryson, what you got, bro?
Listen, I don't know how everybody else grew up, but if you come to my parents' house for 5 minutes, you're gonna notice something real quick. We talk pure trash to anybody and everybody, and we blunt with it. Okay, let's look at the facts. Once again, let's get logical real quick.
If I went to your house, Bryson, I might say that. I might start right off there. But
his dad came on the live stream with us.
Yeah, my dad came on the live stream. My family don't play. Listen, let's talk about the facts. Who is complaining about that language? It ain't black Democrats. It's these conservatives that's mad they're not the main conservatives in the movement. They want to be popular, so they're searching for something to get pissed off about when y'all say something, and that's something they can attack. There's not no Democrat. Nobody care about that but them. And then the worst part about it, they try to do the opposite. And I'm going to use the word pander again. They try to pander all the black folk. And then guess what happens at the end of the day? They still on that coon bus picture with everybody else. Let me tell you something. Let's get to the real. The truth of the matter is, if you want to know the problem with the messaging from the GOP, the truth is there's not many GOP people being uplifted by the GOP that could red pill somebody like me. I didn't get red pill by anybody. I had to go on my own rabbit hole to get red pill. My friends didn't get red pill by anybody. They just followed me into the rabbit hole, and then that's where we ended up. The problem is every person they lift up to try to reach, specifically the black community, is somebody that don't even look like they represent or talk like they represent the black community. And that shouldn't matter as much, but unfortunately it do. If I can't relate to you, if I see you and I can't personally relate to you, how could you red pill me? You know what I'm saying? Like that's why when Kanye came out and said he a Trump supporter, you saw a bunch of people say I'm a Trump supporter. You know what I'm saying? Because they related to Kanye, or they related to somebody like a Kodak Black and people like that. The problem is not wording. Did you say the words plantation? Bro, me and a specific somebody, one of these pro-blacks, was arguing on Twitter. And he was talking about how we can't reach the black community with our message. You got to be revolutionary. A liberal came in and he responded and said, 2 coons going at it. I started dying.
Wow.
I said, you did all that to be in the same boat with me.
Yep.
Wow.
No, I think that's true, man, because, you know, this is what hurt our candidates and stuff, because they say, okay, let me play the game. Let me be in the middle. Let me see what the black people want to hear. And at the end of the day, because you're a Republican or you supported Donald Trump, you're no different than anybody else. And I think that's why Caitlyn Jenner is going to be kind of lose the battle, because you're going to have conservatives that can't get with it. It's just too soon, too early, too soon. Conservatives don't want nothing to do with that. That, you know, you don't want your kids growing up confused about this stuff.
Right.
But then, you know,
we didn't even talk about that. That's a huge point right there.
Yeah, that's a point. That's a point.
The highest person in the state.
Well, think about my son.
Talks. I mean, that's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
And
like that rated for your kids. Yeah.
And here's the thing: like my son, you know, he's gonna see that, and he's gonna be confused because Jenner is not even trying to be a girl by the voice. Like I start interviewing, and he like, yeah, I knew I wanted to. I'm like, bro, you can't even act like you
Caitlyn
at
Jenner
least-
running for president. We're going to win California. It's going to be great, you guys. Yeah.
I'm like, can you at least be like,
man.
I'm Caitlyn Jenner and I'm gonna be
No.
president? You know, he
Like-
can't even
like-
do a girl voice.
It's like
Oh,
Jimmy
boy.
Carter in the voice.
Big
Let me
Bruce can't
say-
do that.
Let me say this, man. Let me say, I'm not trying to be funny about the boy. I mean, about him or whatever. But man, you turn into an ugly girl and sound like a man, and then you date women. Like you totally are confusing to people. And I think that
He needs Jesus.
you should exactly.
He
You should
needs Jesus.
do your thing. Go do your thing, bro. But when you starting to do that and confuse the kids, and the problem is, and we'll jump to another subject, is that when you give them an inch, they take a mile.
That's how we got here.
The man is struggling with a personal identity crisis. At 60-some years old, he wants to transition to be a girl and don't know if he want to date women or men. And all of these things, an identity crisis, is called gender dysphoria. Now, we people, that's a mental illness. I don't care what anybody say. There's something wrong. We got to pray for these people. We should be getting them help instead of trying to thrust them into the limelight. Then he's incredibly not charismatic. I mean, he's the awkwardest person I've ever seen. Beyond that, so when you go down that path,
and he's 71,
right? We start seeing
71. Wow,
he's
71
years old.
We start seeing our kids get confused, man, and it all goes downhill from there. Anybody want to jump on that? Let me know, and then we
real
go jump
quick before we go somewhere else. Let me tell you something. First off, you a grown man claiming you like women, but you want to dress and act like a woman. Let me tell you something. The sad part about this, in a lot of states, he can walk into the same bathroom or the same locker room as y'all daughters, as y'all wives. And this is a grown man can watch another woman get naked because he identifies a fit. All right, let me have a daughter, something like that happen. Okay. Let me stop before I get you kicked off.
He's 71. He's 71. He
is 71.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one thing here about the GOP. The GOP can't really put anybody forward. It's got to be a natural thing from those that just make it on their own. Because if you got Ronna McDaniel out there talking about, hey, here's X, Y, and Z person, that's not going to work at all. That has zero effect. Like Bryson was talking about Kanye. I mean, that's something to do with the GOP. That's just Kanye being Kanye, already being who he is, being self-made on his own, and then coming out and saying, oh, okay, here's who I support. He has his own following aside from what the GOP want to put forward. They can't lift anybody up and make them be someone that the black community will listen to at all, in my opinion.
Correct.
I agree.
I'm gonna jump on. Hey, thank y'all. I just want to thank everybody for the super chats. Modern Renaissance man, he read 100 comments. Modern Renaissance man, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for the super chat. And also, Modern Renaissance man is going to be on a TED Talk. Can't wait to come back and be on the panel. Let the people know they're not a troll. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, Modern
Right,
Renaissance
sir.
man is a real dude. So that's good, man, to have a person who's conservative. Modern Renaissance man, I think he preaches too. I watched the sermon that he did, and I thought it was really good. So I wouldn't even talk about it if I thought it was bad. I just not say nothing. But it was a pretty good sermon. I watched the whole thing. So it was really good. Shout out to Modern Renaissance man. Thank y'all again, like I said, for the super chats. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll answer all the super chats at the very end. So just hold them off to the end. Shout out to how ABL does it, I think, most of the time. So I adopted that from him. And I think they show up right here. Yep, they are here. All right, so let's go to another topic, because we talked about the transgender thing. We talked about messaging, and this is the natural course of thought, is to go to policing. And policing, whether you're a cop or not, or whether you know anybody that's a cop, you can tell that police are under attack. And I'm gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna talk about who do you think will be one of the top candidates for 2024, because I already got somebody in mind. But however, what do you guys think is a solution to what's going on in policing in America? And when I say solution, I want to talk about solutions from both sides. What is the solution from the police department, and then what is the solution from the community, and how does those solutions lead to a better environment for policing? So ABL, go ahead.
All right. Well, really, I did a video where I said we do not need police reform. And I pretty much stand by that, because the police aren't the problem, really. It's the people that are out there that just can't behave properly. I mean, they're talking about police reform when an officer had to shoot a young woman because she was trying to stab somebody else. What needs to be reformed right there? He did his job very well. It's unfortunate that she died, but what was the alternative to that going to be? How is she going to be able to survive that, really? So there was no reform needed in that situation. And most times when you have something happen, there's no reform that's needed. I think the only thing you could do, really, as far as any kind of reform, is get everybody a body camera. Everybody. And really, that would exonerate more officers than anything else. Like the lady that was out there talking about you're Mexican, racist, all this and that, you're a murderer, all this. His own body cam that he got for himself showed the whole situation. She's totally embarrassed, but hey, you trying to fall false claims against him, talking about he was harassing you. Well, he got it all on tape. So if anything, I say they can get more body cameras to show what's going on so everybody can see it and then put it out there to the public. If it's a high profile case and they're trying to go out there and protest, put it out and have everybody see it. And as far as the community, just act right, do better, tighten up. That's all I would say. I mean, that's really the long and short.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. David, you good? I know your camera went off.
Yeah, no,
so,
I'm good.
Yeah, so what's your thoughts on it?
I think that the whole push for police reform, it's the wrong verbiage. First of all, we don't need to reform the police. We don't, just like we don't need to defund the police. I think Governor DeSantis showed what we need to do. We need to fund them more. You know, he gave them bonuses, and that's nice. But I think that there needs to be better check. Honestly, I think there needs to be better checks and balances. You are a police officer, Brandon. You can speak to this more of this, blue shield where police maybe don't want to talk about or don't want to hold another one accountable. I don't know if that's still as prevalent as we used to believe that it was, but hopefully there would be, if anything, there's more funding for the police. There's more bonuses for the police, body cams for sure for every single police officer. You know what ABL's talking about, that Hispanic cop down in San Diego, California. He bought that body cam himself so that he could videotape all his interactions for his own safety, for his own, ability to be able to check and counter what a diabolical, insane female like that, that's a disgrace to the human race, let alone the Black community, would treat another individual like that for no reason. So I think they need more funding. And a good friend of mine is a tactical, he's trained special ops guys, Delta guys, and he's real big on they need more additional training, which is more funding, more training. And I think if they had more training, that's great on their side. But then we're also fighting the battle that the mainstream media is continually trying to exploit every single thing that happens to where, you look at Michaela and it's like the cop was in a no-win situation. He did the right thing. He should have took action, but the mainstream media would have blasted him if he would have taken no action. It was a no-win situation. So the people are being sucked into this, diabolical, mindset of the mainstream media that they're trying to put on us to make us choose and say cops are bad, they need to be defunded. And that whole, motion, that whole mission is just, it's evil. It will hurt it'll hurt lower income communities the most, Black communities, Hispanic communities the most, if you take the police out. But that's what they want. There's a push, I believe personally, there's a push from the administration that's supporting it to have chaos so that they can have bigger government, so they can take more money, and so they can force socialism on us. It's all a part of a massive system that is in play right now to try to destroy our country, and it's sad.
Bryson, what you think about that, man?
I have a theory. Stop me if this theory is incorrect in any way. I have a theory that if people committed less crimes, they would have to deal with the police less. Maybe that is a wrong theory, but before we get to police reform, let's try that first. I just wanted to have like a test run. If anybody is listening, and we can get everybody to stop making songs about killing each other and mocking other people's deaths in music and all of this and stop committing crimes, I just wonder, will there be less police incidents like this? Maybe if you don't try to stab someone, just maybe it will be less incidents like this. I don't think there should be police reform at all, to be honest. I'm not even, I mean, for what? There's already a lot they have to deal with already. They got to risk their lives day in and day out. The truth of the matter is people just commit a lot of crimes, which means police got to be in these areas more than other areers. And the police are in these areas more than other areas, and you continue committing crimes, and more incidents like this will happen because you have, on average, more things with the police. It's common sense. It's a culture issue. That's all it is. If you change culture, everything will be just fine. Everything has a simple solution.
Yeah, I can tell you what, as a police officer, a former police officer, I agree, man. You guys are right on the head. You know, police officers really don't want to be doing all this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? We used to complain all the time that we do too much. Like, you know, there's a loose dog in the community. They call the police. You're like, we got animal control. Oh, they can't come right now. So a police officer got to rally up a dog and end up killing the thing because it gets attacked by it, and then they want to throw you under the bus and fire you.
Wow.
But you know, police officers don't want to do all this stuff. And I've never been to a call just because somebody was just hanging out on the corner. You know, like people necessitate a response. You know, you're driving down the street, somebody run a red light in front of you. You're like, I was going to get donuts. And I got to pull you over. You know, so and or somebody beating up their girlfriend because they drunk, because they can't handle alcohol and they're outside of themselves and they're doing something. Now we got to show up, and now we got to, you know, it get physical, and now we got to whoop you. So that those things, I wish that people would understand. And like, I agree with you guys, because I think reform is the wrong word to say. I think that we need to help improve policing in our country, and improving them meaning that giving them more training. I was a cop, you know, and I was on a SWAT team. I got enough training. We train, you know, every other week, and we train thousands of rounds of ammo. We train with Delta Force. We had as much training as you can get, and we were very proficient and confident in shoot or no shoot scenarios. But the regular police officer qualified once a year. You know, you go in there, you go pow pow at a stationary target. You know, there's no real stress because the target ain't moving. You know, you hear a ding, you got to shoot. The only stress is that you don't miss. You know what I'm saying? Nobody dies when you miss, you know, at the range. So I think that we need more training. We need to get police officers more ammo so they can train in their off time and have more defensive tactics so they can feel confident fighting where they don't have to go to the taser as often. But the biggest problem is the people. The biggest problem is the people.
100%.
None of these situations, none of them, not one of these situations would have happened if the person wasn't resisting arrest and breaking the law.
Exactly.
I wish that somebody, even the guys who get shot injustifiably, like Laquan McDonald and Walter Scott, which he got shot in the back running away from the cop, it wouldn't have happened if he would have paid his $40,000 worth of child support he owed, and then he wouldn't have fought the cop and then took off running. He would have never been in that situation. So,
which, if you go back to what I shared about being handcuffed and being pulled over at gunpoint, I didn't resist either time, and this brother made it out alive. Not even a scratch. It was an apology. Sorry, appreciate you. And I appreciated them. I said, hey, you're out here doing the job. I appreciate the job you're doing. God bless you.
And that's the way it should be. You shouldn't resist arrest. Nobody should resist arrest.
Period.
It's not that hard. Even if they mess up, you're gonna get a payday. You want to be dead and get paid, or you want to be alive when you get paid? That's the problem, you know.
Didn't Chris Rock do a skit on that? How not to get
how not to get your hold on, where's my cuss button? How not to get your kick.
That's like 20 years ago.
I know, and now if Chris Rock did that today, he'd be canceled.
Yeah,
he canceled right away. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, instantaneously. So let's go to the next subject, which is on policing, and then I think we'll talk about the election, because I don't really like politics. Has just burnt me out at this point. However, the Chauvin trial. Now, my quick opinion on the Chauvin trial is that I thought that they didn't make the right verdict. I believe it was very close. It could have went either way. Based on what I saw, I didn't think they had the right verdict. However, I do think he didn't get a fair trial, even if he was, you know, convicted reasonably. Still wasn't a fair trial, and they paid the family out before the juries were picked. You got the jury coming out, so y'all already know what I'm going to say. So I think that it wasn't a fair trial. I believe that the evidence that was presented wasn't beyond a reasonable doubt. So do I think he was an idiot? Yes, I think he was an idiot. I'd have never done what he did as a police officer. He deserved to be fired and never be a cop again. But did it reach the threshold of beyond a reasonable doubt? I don't think it did. Now, keep my camera. All right, ABL, what you got, man? What you think about the Chauvin trial?
Man, I think the Chauvin trial from the beginning, it wasn't going to be a fair trial. It was impossible. They said they want to try to keep the jury away from the news and stuff like that. But how can you? Everybody knows it. It's going all over the country, all over the world. And if they live right there in Minneapolis, they can just go outside their home without even watching television or anything of the sort. No social media, TV. It's outside. It's right there. How can they avoid it? You know, so I thought it wasn't going to be a fair trial. I figured they were either acquit him totally or find him guilty on everything, because it wouldn't even really matter what the evidence was in the courtroom, they were going to say, okay, he didn't or he did. That's it. And that's what happened. And now now they have said that there was a juror that may have attended the jury pool talking about, oh, I don't know anything about the trial. And all I know was just, a couple of dates from the TV. But meanwhile, he went to a George Floyd rally, in DC. He traveled. He went to DC, had on a T-shirt with BLM, a hat with BLM on it. So you got a whole activist in the jury making a decision. And since he went to this rally, you knew what the result was going to be from him. So that's going on, but it's easy to expect. But the trial wasn't fair. I think that there could have been something that was given to him. Definitely the lawsuit. I think that probably was accurate because of the optics of the whole situation. But as far as like what did they say, second degree murder? Nah, that was just because they thought that he should go to jail because that's how they feel, not because of the actual evidence.
Yeah, let me show this real quick. Share my little screen.
So that guy.
Shout out to the Tatum Report for writing this article. But this fool, and then this is what he looked like before the trial. He came out. He got Black Lives Matter. He got Get Your Knee Off Our Neck, BLM, which was referring to the Chauvin trial. This guy's an activist, and I heard he had a podcast that he was describing his feelings and his analysis of the trial. And when you're a juror,
he was wearing that shirt. He got that shirt from the rally in DC because that's what it was called. That was the title of the actual rally in DC, where George Floyd's brother, Fenoys or whatever, he spoke at that rally. He was there.
So this is no good for you, man. It's no good for you. Let me pull us back. Hold on, let me get the game back. All right. So David, what you think about the trial?
Well, I agree. I think that it was for something that when I saw it, I still remember where I was at. I was actually visiting my hometown in Redding, California, and I saw it on Instagram, and I was getting ready to go in this restaurant, and I had to sit down and watch it. And I couldn't believe we were seeing this last summer, not too long before the election, obviously. And then to witness what I saw was just absolute negligence at the hands of a cop that led to his death. It's murder. In my book, it's like the cop shouldn't have had his knee on his back or neck that long. He could have got him up. He could have did something else for that long a period of time. So again, to bring that back to the forefront of what all of America saw, I think it ripped all of our hearts out. Yet then it was exploited that he was a white cop and he was a black guy. I don't think race had anything to do with it. It was a power hungry, officer that had been written up multiple times for excessive use. It probably shouldn't have been on the force, right? There's an example of better training and more funding to weed out the individuals that shouldn't even be there. So it was an opportunity, I think, it should have been an opportunity for us all to agree that when we all say that I believe 100% that 99% of all LEOs are out there for good. They're doing good. They're serving. They're heroes. There's bad apples and everything. We can't say 100% of cops are out there not doing something wrong. And Derek Chauvin was a prime example of that. So while he should have been held accountable, and while it should have been a chance for America to agree on something, it was so exploited by the mainstream media and by all the Democrat politicians pushing it as a race issue and a reason to defund the police and all the mess that flowed from that it wasn't a win. It wasn't a win regardless. Then you come to the jurors and you look at the jurors that you're talking about. There are people out there that wanted to use it as an issue to continue to try to perpetuate this narrative that our country is a racist country. And this was a prime example. And again, back to my earlier statement, it's an incident that took place. So I know now what I think Chauvin is filing for an appeal, mistrial on the grounds of that juror. And it wasn't a fair, it shouldn't have been what it could have been. And it's sad because now we're still having to drag it out. It's being exploited and abused and misused. And it's still just something that's, again, we're gonna have to find out. See what happens. If he does get an appeal, there's probably gonna be riots. And then even when he went to jail, there were still riots. So you can't appease the left. You can't do anything to appease the progressive left that they want the ultimate destruction of this country, and they're using race at every turn right now to do it. So that's my 2 cents.
Before you get in there, Bryson, I got this comment, and I thought this was pretty good. You know, that pretty much they need to update this and put a sign on in the street that says refusing to cooperate with an officer by law, fine up to $3,000 to $5,000. Like, you know, I feel like that people may laugh at that, but I think that may be a good thing where they start enforcing these laws that you can't resist arrest and not obey the police officer. And if you do, there needs to be a heightened penalty for that. Like, you can't they slap people on the wrist all day long. You know, if it's an added charge, you know, resisting arrest is a charge. And sometimes they just sweep it under the rug. They charge them with something else. They give them you resist arrest from a lawful arrest from a police officer. Like, that should be an extra 20 years in prison or something crazy, you know, added on to whatever crime you committed. Now, if you just a beer run and you resist, that's different. But it should be definitely an extreme aggravated charge. Bryson, what you got, bro?
Derek Chauvin obviously didn't have a fair trial, but we knew he wasn't gonna get a fair trial. Have y'all watched the full complete video of George Floyd?
I didn't watch the full one.
The full one?
Full trial?
No. The full video of him getting arrested.
Yeah, from before it happened to when it happened.
Yes.
I didn't watch his death. I didn't watch the death part. I didn't watch that part.
I did too. And a few things stuck out to me. One, the cops knew this man was on drugs. Anybody with plain eyes knew that man was on drugs 2 minutes into the video. For two, if it was a racial situation, why did they instantly let one of the black people go? In the beginning of the video, they just said, go ahead, get out of here. For three, George Floyd said he couldn't breathe before anything was really happening to him. For four, he was calling for his mama and all types of crap before he was even put on the ground. For five, he asked to be put on the ground because they were trying to get him in the car. He literally wanted to get put on the ground. That was a request. They honored that man's request. And I don't give a crap about, I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a crap about Derek Chauvin or George Floyd. I don't care about them, to be honest with you. But I watched the video just from common sense. George Floyd asked to get put on the ground. They tried to do everything right with George Floyd. This man is what, 6'6" or something like that. They were trying to force him, like a few of them was trying to force this big boy into the car. He wasn't going. He said, nah, put me on the ground, cuz. And they was like, okay, we're gonna put you on the ground. And I don't know, B. Tatum, you can correct me on this, I don't know, but the way his knee was on his neck, I saw several officers do the same exact thing in many, many different cases, and the person didn't end up dead. Maybe not for that long, but there is another case with the white guy that happened and he died. But
in California.
Yeah.
Didn't get the media attention.
But here go my question, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Second degree murder requires you to be in the process of committing a crime, correct?
You're responsible for the death of another person. So accidentally killing a person while committing another felony crime.
Yes. What is that other felony crime that Derek Chauvin committed?
So they're claiming it's third degree murder, which is, murder with, ill intent, with malice or depraved mind. You're doing something or not that. I think third degree manslaughter or the manslaughter charge was depraved mind. But the second degree was doing something knowingly that it was unreasonable, knowing that it was unreasonable and that it could cause the death of another person. You end up killing a person unintentionally, but you knew that what you were doing was unreasonable.
So they're not talking about third degree, not second degree.
Well, so what happens is if you get found guilty of third degree murder, that is a felony charge. And second degree murder is what they call a felony murder rule. So if you are committing a felony and it results in the death of another person, if you are guilty of third degree murder, they can also charge you with second degry murder, which is felony murder. So
they got him with second degree murder because of the third degree murder.
Right, and that's why they charged him like that. That's why they went for if you guys notice, they charged him with second degree murder, then they charged him with the manslaughter. So the reason they re-entered third degree murder was to solidify the second degree murder, because if he get found guilty of third degree murder, the felony murder rule is that he was in a commission of committing a murder that resulted in another person's death, which will get him second degree murder. And so if you get first degree murder, second degree murder, third degree murder, manslaughter is like.
So you got finesse. So he got finesse. Look, okay, listen. He got finesse. Let's call it what it is. He got big finesse. And then we got this juror. And of course, come on, everybody know about George Floyd. I don't care how much you try to say the jury didn't know about George Floyd. Get out of here. This man blatantly obviously knew about George Floyd. He had the rallies. He got to get your knee off our necks. And then he obviously knew about it and lied about it. Is there any way, this is a question for everybody. Is there any way they will lose the appeal based on that.
If the fear again, if they do an appeal, and I'm not really sure how the process works. I think that if they do an appeal, they may be able to try the case again. I'm not sure if they just throw it out. I think that they declare a mistrial and it has to be retried. I think that's the way it goes. If that's the case, when they select a new jury pool and they do the whole thing over again, who else is going to be brave enough to tell the truth when you know that the country is going to burn and you're going to get doxxed and you could potentially get killed, and the president and everybody else is coming out saying that if you don't do the right thing, more violence is going to happen. It's difficult.
And did Maxine Waters get punished? Did any of these people get punished who was literally trying to intimidate jurors? Nobody got punished. Nothing happened.
They should have punished Biden for saying what he said.
But the FBI was at my house? Oh, no. Okay.
Just because they thought you were somewhere where people were taking selfies and stuff, you know.
Hey, man. Hey, we in some crazy times, boy. That's all I'm going to say.
So I got a couple super chats real quick. I just want to say, LJ, thank you so much. She said, amen, amen. Thank you for the $50 super chat. Jose, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Then we got a question about fentanyl, Floyd. No, that was the right here. Let me see if this is a real question. Okay. Why are we not talking about the fentanyl? It amazes me that the prosecution acted like there is no way this deadly drug played a part. Now, real quick, the fentanyl, the prosecution obviously don't want the fentanyl to be a part of their argument, or don't want the fentanyl to be the part of the case, because they want Chauvin to be the one to kill him. So the defense want the fentanyl, and the prosecution want there not to be fentanyl, for it to be 100% Chauvin's fault, because if it wasn't 100% Chauvin's fault, that would be beyond a reasonable doubt and he would get off. However, they did bring in experts that said that there were people who lived in many tests with fentanyl and methamphetamine levels that were consistent with George Floyd. So they tried to rule out the fact that that was the primary cause of his death. Although I do believe that when you take a speedball, which is methamphetamine and in a downer like fentanyl, that you're probably going to die at the end of this. You know, it's rarely that you could take that much drugs and be hyped up because you're resisting arrest and not take that L full speed. So
and he already had heart problems too. So he already had other medical issues. He was hyped up on drugs. It was a bad combination.
And he had COVID. And
he had the virus. Yep.
And you know what they say with the Rona, that it messes with your respiratory system. And so does fentanyl. Fentanyl depresses the respiratory system. So,
and you got a bad heart. Your blood ain't pumping right.
So George is the one person that actually died of COVID that they didn't attribute the death to COVID.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, you know, if you die and you got COVID, even if you got hit by a car, it's still COVID.
Right.
That boy, I watched that video. I knew instantly that boy was high as a kite. I see people like that all the time where I'm from, bro. You just ride around a few minutes, you'll see somebody acting just like that.
And the cops knew he was high. You know, I mean, cops deal with people like this all the time. And they dealt with fentanyl Floyd. I call him fentanyl Floyd. They deal with fentanyl Floyd all the time. So, you know, they knew who he was. That's why they were being, they showed compassion to him at the beginning, and they simply asked him to get in the car, and he claimed that he was claustrophobic, and it just went south. I was like, why didn't you just get in the car? He was almost in the car. I was like, why didn't you just get in the freaking car? He was resisting arrest. Well, let me give you some insight. This is why I think he did what he did. So when you get arrested all the time and you in a drug game, you know how to play the system. Fentanyl Floyd didn't want to go to jail. He knew he had ingested drugs. He knew he had drugs on him. He knew he was caught up in this whole thing. A lot of times these criminals, they fake medical conditions, or they try to go to the medical so you can take them to the medical facility. And normally when a police officer take you to the medical facility, if you're not wanted for murder or something, they paper release you and you never go to jail. You get discharged from the hospital. So a lot of these dudes, they go, oh no, I can't breathe, man. Call me. I can't. And then you have to call the medical staff, and they do have some condition that leads them down that path. Or he knew he swallowed those drugs and he knew that he was going to die. So he wanted to, no, you can't put me in the back. You need to get me to the hospital. And therefore they would have never charged him with anything. They probably would have charged him, but he would have never went to jail at all. And he probably would have lived, because he probably was suffering from the effects of ingesting those drugs. So, I mean, that's pretty much, the synopsis when it comes to the George Floyd case. And I really do think that we all kind of share the common theme that, I don't think this was a fair trial. And unfortunately, it should have been a fair trial, and he probably would have still got convicted, or potentially. It could have been a fair trial, and he could have got convicted. But now it's going to be smoke. It's going to be smoke, bro. I don't know how they don't win an appeal. They have Maxine Waters, a sitting congresswoman, calling for violence if they don't acquit him. They paid $27 million to the family before they were finished with the jury selection. They did not, accept a change of venue. When you have a city that has been burned to the ground, cops out almost every night, it's all over local news. You got to have a change of venue because the jury pool is completely tainted in that city. Matter of fact, most cities in the world, you have to go to some isolated county where they don't have televisions, and then beyond that, the sequestering of the jury. The judge never isolated them or demanded that they be isolated from any of the news media or any of the activities that occurred. They shouldn't have had the trial in the public. They should have had it in closed session because they just completely tainted everything. And I think, to be honest, in a fair sense, he would get a mistrial and they would have to retry the case. So I don't know. Who did anybody disagree that they could win on a mistrial? Or does anybody think that they?
No, I think they probably will win on a mistrial, and it's going to lead to more chaos.
Yeah, I mean,
the system is rigged.
Yeah,
and you know what? When the whole thing was going on, I figured that if jurors thought that Chauvin might be innocent, they're not going to say it because they don't want to throw their lives away for this man. Because that's because you already had it was an article from New York Times that said, well, we don't know who they are, but here's a profile of each juror. So they were trying to kind of soft dox him a little bit. So what if they would have said, oh, the man is innocent? It would have been some for real doxing. And you don't want that to happen.
Yeah. And if the roles were reversed on this gentleman right here, let me pull his picture up again. If the roles were reversed, where's Tatum report right here? If the roles were reversed on this, is my day hit it right there? Okay. If the roles were reversed on him and Chauvin was acquitted, and there was a white dude at a bar that was in the jury pool that had Blue Lives Matter and that fentanyl Floyd died, Chauvin is innocent. If they if they seen a white man like this in that thing, he was a juror, they acquitted Chauvin, it would be smoke in the city. Major news organizations haven't even run this story. They will not run the story. And it's a shame. So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit because I want to know y'all's thoughts on the presidency, because obviously 2020 went real south real fast, and I think we all agree how it happened to a certain
Biden didn't get no 80 million votes.
Yeah, but let me say this about Biden.
Even if he got 60, that's still too many.
Biden, that's a very difficult scenario. I'm not saying that it was rigged or anything. That I'm not saying that it was
fortified. Sure. It was fortified. That's what it was.
It's the most secure election ever to exist.
It sure was.
But however, it is very irregular for a president, a former president, to get more votes, millions of more votes in re-election and lose. For him to win all but one Bellwether County.
Never happened. No incumbent's ever gotten, especially 8 million more votes and lost.
Right. And all Bellwether counties except one and still lose. Never happened in the history of this country. Him to improve in minority community, all these other things, and still take that L dog. I mean, that's just not realistic. But I'm not going to go down that path because we know how they do it on here. However, 2024 is going to be another perfect election, and everything's going to go well, and there's nothing wrong in the election. So who do you guys think is going to be the front runner for the Republican ticket? And I'll start it off by saying DeSantis.
You taking my answer, man. Come on, taking my answer.
Who say in the comment section, put a 1 if you think DeSantis, put a 2 if you think it's somebody else. I say on our stream, say I if you think it's DeSantis on our stream. Okay, only two of us. All right. David and Bryson, I want to know what y'all think. David, who do you think is going to be the front runner in 2024?
I think Trump. I think he's going to come back.
You think he's going to come back?
I think he's going to come back. I actually do. But I think that he's waiting to see what happens with 2022. Because if we don't get the election laws in place around the country to ensure fair and honest elections, then he's not going to throw his hat in the ring. We already know that's a waste of time. But if 2022 shows by then, which they're working in a lot of states around the country right now, that's why they're slamming Georgia for trying to add some election integrity laws, which are pretty much standard in so many other states, like 28 states or whatever around the country, to just make sure that the massive mail-in ballots aren't abused, and that if somebody requests an absentee, it lines up with their ID. I mean, it's asinine. I just saw a clip. Actually, I got to make a video about Stacey Abrams. Literally said that she was afraid if these election laws went into place that the Democrats would lose in 2022. It's exactly what they're all afraid of, because to say that you got to have an ID to get COVID tests, to get alcohol, to get damn near anything, and yet to then say, well, no, to make that case for minority communities is racist. It's disgusting. It's hypocritical, and it's absolute nonsense. So I think Trump is going to wait and find out. He's going to watch. He's watching right now. They just launched that new integrity, election integrity organization, the group. Jenna Ellis, a friend of mine, is on there. Ken Paxton's on there from Texas. There's several people on there that are trying to make sure that election laws are actually going to be followed and are in place for 2022. And then 2022 will be the eye opener. We'll know in 2022 if everything goes the way it should go. Then we should take back at least the House. Should take back the Senate as well. Should take the Senate, and then I think it'll be full steam ahead. We'll have MAGA rallies, Trump rallies for 2 years leading up to 2024, and then it's game over. But I also think that Trump will tap DeSantis on the shoulder for his VP. Pence is out. That guy doesn't need to be in the Trump campaign. Period. He should just retire. He turned his back on us, but so that's what I think is going to happen. But it's a wait and see kind of thing.
Bryson, what you think, man? I'm surprised. I thought you would say DeSantis.
Listen, you know that Keith Sweat song? Nobody. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. In my song, I said 2024, don't care about those questions until we fix what's going on in the present. And we asked GOP to stop the steal, but they treated us like we was peasants. I do not care. Until I see some laws change, I do not care. If laws don't change before 2024, I will write in a name before I vote for anybody in the GOP with a GOP name on them. And people might say, oh, they give votes to the left. Did you see what they did in 2020? I mean, if that's going to happen again, and my thing is, people talk about Trump 2024 or they said it's 2024. If Trump couldn't stop it in 2020, and I was at every rally, everyone trying to fight for it. And all I know is if he couldn't stop it in 2020, who's to say he can stop it in 2024? You just making up stuff? Like 2020, that's not, I don't see how you can not win that one over. And then people say DeSantis, but I don't think DeSantis got the personality like Trump. I think they're trying to force it. Like they take pictures of him eating pizza to make him seem like a cool guy, DeSantis. But I mean, he just simply, honestly, he's doing the best job as governor right now in the country. Nobody can deny that. But he's just not impressing me as a president personally. I need somebody that's gonna really knock somebody out. And Trump went out. Trump went out a little sad at the end too. That wasn't the Trump I was rocking with. I don't know who that person was in the last few speeches, but Trump for the most part still was a person he'll knock you out. You know what I'm saying? I don't think DeSantis is gonna knock you out. I think he's gonna ask for a fair fight.
Yeah, so we got a super chat. RUB currency. I think that's $20. So it says 400. I think that's $20 US currency. We'll jump to this in a second because I think that this is another topic. If y'all can still stay, David, you got time? I know you're on the East Coast.
Yeah,
I mean you're on the Central. You're in Central. Bryson, you still good?
Yes, sir.
ABL, you still good?
I got a little bit of time.
We good.
Got a little bit of time. Okay, we'll just say a little bit of time. Message me personally. It's a private message chat thing. Message me if you have to run real quick. Because it's finally up to 6,000. I think what happened is I posted 3 times already today, and they don't do notifications on the 4th post. So I maxed out the 3. So my fault. Next time I'll let it go. So we finally at like 6,000. So the gentleman said in the super chat, and thank y'all for the super chats. Like I said, I'm gonna try to run all these at the very end when everybody's done. And maybe we'll do a couple Q&A right at the end. But where you at? 400 RUB. I don't even know where that's at. Anybody know where that currency is from? I don't know. Can you explain why, if N-word is truly offensive insult, black culture keeps overusing it? Rap music, movies, regular folks. It's almost as if black people enjoy the privilege, kind of make it hard to take it seriously. So let's talk about the N-word real quick. I try to stay away from using the N-word, right? I mean, I publicly, I don't, you'll never hear me say the N-word except one time, once upon a time, I flexed on somebody on a live stream and I got the hood
you must
Tatum.
have been pissed off.
I threatened and everything. I told him I told him when I see him, it's on. And Bryson was in the corner just like this, laughing, saying, "What you say, Bryson?" You said, "All right, okay."
I said, "Let's go." That's what I'm talking about. Like sometimes you gotta check people, bro. I'm sorry.
So I didn't want to go. The old Brandon rose up in me. So that one time you ever hear me on the internet ever saying that. However, my beliefs about it, and I had to repent to God. My belief on it is that I believe that Black folks should not use the N-word. Nobody should use the N-word. However, if somebody can use it, then everybody should be able to use it. That's my whole philosophy. Like, if you don't want other people using it, we shouldn't use it as Black folks. And if you cool with using it, then the white people can sing to your songs and they can say, "What's up, man?" and everything else. That's how I look at it. I don't know. What do y'all think? ABL, what you think?
I kind of
do you use the N-word?
No, I don't use no racial slurs at all.
Did you accidentally use it on a live stream one time?
I don't believe so. I don't think so. Somebody they might want to fact check me on that one, but I don't believe so. But nah, it's simple though. It's like, okay, if you're using that all the time, it's like part of your language, and then someone else says it, it doesn't make sense for you to then fly off the deep end and get mad at them. You got to just lead by example. You don't use it, and then if others use it, you could be like, "Hey man, don't say that around me. I'm not really with that." And what they're gonna say? They can't say nothing because I don't use it. I don't speak that way. It's like on my live streams, I say no cursing on my live streams. It's a family-friendly show. We got little kids watching and everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to curse on my show if I don't want anybody to call in cursing. Anytime somebody calls in and they curse and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, AB, I didn't do that," because they respect me because of how I carry myself. But if I'm on there cursing like a sailor, then how am I going to sit them not to curse at all? Like, I have to do what I want others to do. That's just really what it is. So I don't use any racial slurs, none of that type of stuff. So I want that same respect in return. That's just being the man in general.
Oh, I love it. I love it. David, have you used the N-word live?
No. No, I don't really use it. I don't really use it anyway. I just kind of I'm kind of like ABL. I don't really cuss regardless. Unless somebody gets me heated, then it might, I fly out, but it takes a lot to get me really heated. But I just don't use it. But I think as far as the question goes, yeah, I don't think that anybody should use it. If it's such a derogatory term and word that was used in such a dark time in our country that the media, especially right now, is so heightened about everything's racial. So to then have a group of people, a populace of people, use it continually and add all the other stuff in. It's why I love Bryson so much in his music, is because it's positive, right? It's delivering a positive message, a message of hate, of faith, hope, and love, and get up and make what you want out of this life. And that's been missing. It's been, or it's been so downplayed by culture and by radio and by award ceremonies. They've got their own awards for it. It's Christian rap, so it's Dove. And then if it's secular, then it's all this other stuff, which sure, Jay-Z or Ludacris or whoever, might get an award for something. Kanye gets an award for one song, but the whole rest of the CD is MRF for this, and we're smoking that, and we're drinking this, and these people getting shot. We're going to shoot these people. It's like, we're denigrating our own community and destroying and feeding toxic poison into our own community, and then want to cry about racism from the white man. It's asinine to me. So no, I don't use it. I don't think anybody should use it.
True. Bryson.
This is about to be a crazy opinion. I think everybody should start using it, no matter what color you are. Just start saying it. Like, I'm just giving it a ban, bro. Listen. I'm gonna give it a ban. I don't even think it's not. I don't even think it's not a curse word. It's come from a derogatory place. But even when you hear Black people use it a lot, it's usually used in a greeting type way. But then they try to act like nobody else can use it. But 6ix9ine can use it, and he ain't Black. So if I was white, first off, I know God ain't made me white for a reason. Let me tell you something. I would have had a song saying it. I'm gonna tell you something right now, just to prove a point. I'm a free speech absolutist, bro. Do not let anybody tell you can't say something, but black people can call you the C word all day, the Ritz word all day long, and they tell you, yeah, saltines, but tell you can't say the N word. Man, listen now. Hold on. Let me say this to disclaimer.
I think I feel some new inspiration for a new song for Bryson.
listen. Hold on. I do want a disclaimer. There are some folk that will get on your onion for saying it publicly. I know it is. Yeah. But listen. You say it, so let's keep it in bed. They make money. The biggest consumers of rap music, money-wise, is white people. So you make all this music, N-word this, N-word that. You know these white people know every lyric singing along. If y'all don't stop this cap acting like you're the only person that can say a word, man, just say the word, bro.
Yeah, I'm just looking up this rapper. I forget his name. Where is he at? Y'all know the name of that rapper, man? He used the N-word in his song. He was kind of rapping back and forth. He was going, I think YG. It's called Racist. What is it called? I'm not right. What is it? Dang, what's his name?
Is it let the white kid say?
No. He was rapping and he was going to different communities. So he started with white people, then he went to black people, and then he said the N-word when he went to black people. Dude, he like a country rapper. He called himself like a country rapper. What is his name? I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Is it Adam Calhoun?
Yeah. I think it's him. Let me pull it up real quick. Adam Calhoun. Thank you, Candace. Let's see.
He said N-word.
Watch. Wait a minute.
Oh, he lit.
Bro, he didn't even care. And he got black dudes in his video when he said it.
See, that's what I'm talking
and they vibing with him. Let me see. What is it called? I think the song is called. Is it Patriot?
I gotta post that on IG.
Is it Racist or Patriot? Somebody help me.
It wasn't the Patriot song. I've heard that song. I don't think he said it in that song.
It's not Patriot. It's called Racist or something like that. Or maybe let me look at Racism. Okay, Racism. Here we go. So I'm gonna pop it on there so y'all can see it, because I was like, dang, he really said that. But it made sense in the music. That people ain't gonna be able to hear it. I forget my thing is not, it don't work right. However, let me pull it up so people can see it. Let me see it. Here. I gotta pull y'all over here on this side. And then I gotta pull it up here and then pull y'all in here. And then so it's a music video called Racist. Can y'all hear this?
No.
I'm looking at the lyrics though, and he said it.
He said this is the part where he said it. So if you listen to it, he talking about white people. He called them hillbillies. He called them racial slurs, and then he come over with the brothers. He come over right here with the black folks, and he's saying the N-word. And he say, he starting to talk about like what it's like being black. So he go through all the races, and he got these brothers right here, and he's saying it. He's saying the N-word while they standing there. And so, and he rapping it with his mouth though. It ain't like it was on a thing. However, this is what I will say about it is that it made sense when he said it. It wasn't like he was being derogatory, because what he was doing was talking about the derogatory things of white people. So he called them all kind of words, hillbillies and all this other stuff. Then when he got the black people, he was talking like he's referring to black people. So he said the N-word, always doing this. And I was like, dang, he kind of bold though.
Yeah, for real.
He playing a dangerous game.
Now, let's go back because I want y'all to see the numbers on this video though.
I want to hear it so bad.
Let's get none of my stats on here before I put it up. But I got this thing right here called vidIQ. So if y'all want to steal that, go ahead and steal it. vidIQ will tell you all the ratings, all the tags that everybody do, the rankings, everything. It tell you everything about everybody's video. It tell you what they ranked. It tell you where they ranked as far as views, society, everything. Tags, you can steal all their tags if you want to. Don't tell nobody else I got this. Okay, so in the video got 13 million views. This was from like 2018. 138,000 likes versus 6,000. So that tells you that most people that watched this really liked what he had to say. And that was an example of somebody using the N-word that I thought, in the context of rap or hip hop or whatever, that he got away with that. And it made sense, even though I'm sure people in the comment section wanted to break his neck. So I want to give y'all a chance, because I've been running my mouth. Somebody else wrote a comment, $100 comment. But before I read that comment, I want y'all to give a shout out. So ABL, I see those flags behind you. I see that brand new hat. You survived the pandemic. I bought one of your hats actually.
Thank you, man.
I bought
Appreciate
that
that.
one. Did you see me? You see the order?
Yeah, I saw. Okay, it came through.
I'll tell you. I bought one of your hats. I saw it on there. I said, bro, that hat's so clean. I gotta buy it. So I got ABL's hat. I survived the pandemic, and then ABL got flags and everything. But tell everybody how, where they can find you on social media, how they can get the flags, how they can support you. Let it rain.
All right. So yeah, the best way to go is ABL merch, MERCH, ABLmerch.com. I got the flags, I got shirts, I got hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, whatever you want. Now the flags, these come from a friend of mine up there in Connecticut. He makes them handmade. It's just him in the shop. And you can find these on my website, my regular website, Anthony B. Logan. Go to the menu, go to flags, go to it right there. You can get whatever you want. You can get custom made stuff. You can get these exact same flags, whatever you want. 100% American, wood, homemade. They're beautiful. And I think that's pretty much it. ABL merch, Anthony B. Logan. Find me on there. Everything's on there. That's the best way to go.
David Harris, I know you got a lot of stuff. I see that shirt you got on. Don't California, my Arizona. I gotta go buy that one now, man, because I'm an Arizonan and I don't want y'all California, my Arizona. So tell us where we can find you and all your stuff, man.
I got every state in the country in there. You can get all my merch at davidharrisjr.store. You can get my book that Brandon Tatum, the Officer Tatum, before he was the Officer Tatum, but before he was big like balling like he is right now, he wrote a little message in there, but why I couldn't stay silent. One man's battle as a black conservative. That's there. davidharrisjr.store. Yeah, I got shirts. I got mugs. I got a lot of patriotic stuff. Always supporting our police. Made in the USA when possible. Some stuff is just not, but not China. You're not gonna find nothing there from China. I'll tell you that much. And David J. Harris Jr. on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. That's me.
Awesome, man. It's an incredible book. David Harris has an incredible story. I guarantee you that nobody will believe David Harris's story. You hear him talk now, you see his success, you would never believe where he came from. Even I know him, and I'm still like, dang, bro, that's a legit testimony. So read his book, follow David Harris on all of his stuff, man. A big time believer. Bryson, what you got, man? How can they follow you and find your stuff? I like that hoodie though.
Listen, as always, I'm the worst promoter. So instead of wearing my own merch, I'm wearing B Tatum merch and somebody else has. So I don't have none of my merch on, but I do have merch. I promise. BrysonCreates.com. And if you're not a punk, and if you're tired of politically correct nonsense, or you want somebody to tell it how it is, I make the perfect music for you. Now, if you're a snowflake, even a conservative snowflake, do not play my music. I repeat, do not play it. But if you're not a punk and you don't mind getting a little controversial, I have music out there. I have an album coming out. I'm shooting for May 28th. I have another album coming out, and I have like a text message thing you can text. It's on my Twitter, in my Twitter bio. My Twitter is Real Bryson Gray. My Instagram is Bryson Creates. And yeah, that's how you can get in touch with me.
Bryson got some of the coldest music that I've heard, man. And you talk about clean music you listen to with your family, and that you can't be soft when you listen to it though. So even though it ain't no cussing, it go hard though. It's gonna make you're gonna feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? I'm saved, and I felt some type of way when I listened to Bible and verse. I think that's what it's called.
Chapter and verse.
Chapter and verse. That was good. I said Bible and verse. Chapter and verse. I was like, all right. I'm like, should I repent now or after the song is over? So y'all need to you go support Bryson. Bryson always show love on the channel, man. Every time he come on, he super chat $100. So I appreciate Bryson. Y'all support everybody that's on here. I love doing this. We try to do it every Thursday. Y'all know I'm on Color People Time, so I'm always late. You just be there. We gonna be there. So let me answer the super chat, and I'll do 5 questions. 5 questions from the audience. We'll put up on the screen. Just wait. I got to do the super chat. We'll do 5 questions, and then we're going to let these brothers go on about their day. Everybody's on the East Coast except me, so it's still early where I'm at. It's late where they at. So let me get the super chat. Let's see. Banshees, I think that's what it is. Thank you so much for the super chat, $100 super chat. Love what you guys do. Can you please talk as a group about the real problem in the black community, the culture, the teachers not to trust white people, teaching not to trust white people, not to trust police, the music, teaching kids to disrespect, praise drugs and violence. Please talk about it. So $100 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll touch base a little bit on that just real quick, because I know you guys, I want to do a couple more questions, but real quick, give me 40 seconds of kind of what you think about the conditioning that has gone on in the Black community. I'll start it off real quick. I do believe that there's a lot of brainwashing that's going on. It's generational pain, real pain, generationally passed down unnecessarily. And I think that the leaders in the community have to step up and start teaching people to be victors instead of victims. God needs to return back to the community like grandma used to do and hit you over the head with that Bible that the page is halfway turning out. If you cutting up, telling you that it's only jail or hell if you keep acting a fool. So we need to get back to that. We need strong families. And I believe that we'll be better off for it. And that's why we exist, to teach people the right way to go. ABL, what you think?
And that was great. That was great. But I think what's happening is that we're too isolated among ourselves as Black folks. A lot of times we just stay among ourselves. We don't ever experience anything beyond that. So the lack of trust for white people is not even really about that. It's about never really talking to them ever. And then whatever you get about white people comes from popular culture, from what you hear on TV and social media and stuff like that. Oh, you know, the white man this, white man that. But you never even talked to a white man before. You know, you don't really interact with them in the real way. At least not me. I come from an all Black area, so I never really talked to white folks like that. So we have to just get outside of our box, get outside of our shell, and do some more communication rather than judging from the outside without knowing.
That sounds great. David, you got anything to add?
I mean, you guys covered it. You know, my heart just continues to go back to we're at a place in our country right now where there's so much division, so much divisiveness, so much propaganda. It seems like we're completely up against the wall on all sides. And the thing that sometimes I just have to focus on and do is unplug from all that and go spend time with God, read my word, get in I have a place where I pray and I turn on some good worship music and I just get in his presence. And that helps align me and helps me have peace in the middle of all of that. And I just hope and pray that everybody watching just takes more action. Those that do believe would spend more time. Use your Bible app. That's what I use. I put it on, I push play and I listen, let God speak to you. And I think that if we have an awakening, a spiritual awakening of who God created us to be, then that's what's going to be the change that's going to actually win this battle, because we're in a spiritual battle. All this isn't coming against us just because it's all seems to happen at the same time. We're in a spiritual battle for this country. And I think it's going to be individuals that begin to take their faith seriously and really dig in that will begin to be the change and be the unity that we need to see. Because that crosses all barriers. You know, it doesn't matter what color you are, it crosses all of it. And that's how love wins. I think that's what we got to do. That's what I try to do.
Perfect. I love that. Bryson, what you think, man?
The problem is blatant and obvious. It is culture. Everything stems from culture, even the single motherhood rate that everybody say, or education that everybody say. You can't change any of that until you change culture first. And what is a representation of culture is what you're listening to, is what's influencing people, is all of that. So until you offer alternatives for that, we won't win any culture war. You're not going to even win it with politics until you change culture, because politics is downstream from culture. You need to offer alternatives in music, gaming, YouTube, everything. If you don't offer alternatives and support people that's offering the alternatives, you won't change culture. It's common sense.
Appreciate it. Now we're gonna do a question and answer. Y'all ask the best question that you can. Start right now. Go. All right. First question. We'll just give a yes or no on this one because I think it'll take a long time to describe everything on here. So the young lady Kendra said, was Trayvon Martin truly innocent? I'd say no, not completely innocent. What did you think, ABL?
I mean, I don't really know. I think that Zimmerman probably shouldn't have been there, but I don't really know.
Yeah, David, what you think?
Yeah, that's a hard one to call. We don't really know the backstory on what he was doing. I don't know that he was doing anything. So again, it's a tough one.
I don't know, but I know Zimmerman was a punk for getting beat up by a 17-year-old.
Yeah, I do think, regardless of what Trayvon did, Zimmerman was nuts. I mean, that guy followed Trayvon. He followed him. And I think that he was guilty. However, he got into a spot where the kid was whooping his rear end and he shot him. You know, I think that was messed up that he followed him. Everybody know he followed him. I don't care what nobody say. You know, the guy was at his car when they said stop chasing him, and then end up fighting in the apartment complex. I mean, I'm not God, but I know that you had to go from here to there to get there. You know, so all right, let me get a couple more questions. Somebody asked, do I accept crypto? No. Do you? Hold on. Let me just
Why not?
Just a quick round. Like, I don't accept it. I don't know I can't accept crypto. So round of applause. Who raise your hand in the chat? I mean, in the panel, if you actually, you know, are involved in like you have cryptocurrency, or you like invest in it. Dang, I'm the only one that don't invest in crypto. So
I mean, it's like buying stock. It's easy.
I was talking about this last week.
I'm afraid. You sent me the thing, David. I need to get on it, man. Everybody killing the crypto. I want to try to invest in the cryptocurrency. So let's see. Anthony said, "Why not y'all start y'all own BLM?" We have Blexit. I mean, I have Blexit. I mean, I'm a part of Blexit. I co-founded Blexit. Ariel, let me pull her thing up here. Shout out to Ariel. Ariel is a champion in Blexit. You know what I'm saying? So y'all if y'all need to hit her up if you want to get involved.
She went to my wedding recently. She was just recently. She was at the wedding. Yep.
I know.
Shout out to her.
Nice.
I hate I missed your wedding, bro.
Yeah,
I missed it. I was in Chattanooga, man. I was there.
I was invited to speak at the last one, but my wife and I were celebrating 27 years, so we were in Puerto Rico.
I was in Chattanooga also.
That's funny. Let's see. Somebody said something I don't want to repeat because I think it'll mess up. Kendra asked another good question. Why are lots of black women single with kids but not married? My personal opinion is that it's culture and the government and the culture. So the culture doesn't frown upon it anymore like it used to. You know, back in the day, you riding around with a baby and not no husband, you were shunned. Nobody would even look at you. How dare you? What have you been doing? You're a nasty freak is what they'll call you. Nowadays, it's acceptable. You're a hero if you're a single mom with a baby on your arm. And then the government replaces your baby daddy. So what you need that food for? Where you can go to the government and get all you can eat. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's two main reasons. I don't think necessarily the woman is trying to be mean or bad, or it's a lot of it is celebrated now culturally, so it's not weird to have one. And then the government will replace the daddy, so you really don't need that food. In theory, what do y'all think, ABL?
It's very simple. The government, because 1960 we had an 80% two-parent household rate in the black community. Two parents married before they had a baby. 80% in 1960. Now it's about 75%. Unmarried parents having children. So the change is because of the welfare state. Rather than relying upon the father to be there to take care of everything, you rely upon Uncle Sam. He is now the father of the children. That's the biggest change.
Out of Pappy. All right, David.
Only thing I'll add to that are deadbeat men that aren't trying to be fathers, that are just trying to sleep around and don't own up to their own responsibility, that don't care. You know, it's and that's a lack of fathers in the home. So it goes both ways. You know, without the fathers in the home, you got these young boys that are just out there trying to hit everything they can and don't have any sense of what it means to be a man. And then you've got the females, again, keep your legs closed if the man is not somebody that you want to raise a child with, period. You know, which is a lack of a woman's own personal confidence, you know, in who she is as a person, that feels like she needs to be able to sleep with some guy to feel a certain way about herself. It could be that cut and dry simple, but again, culture exploits it, government's exploited it, but take it back all the way down to personal responsibility, and it takes two people to tango. And if both of them had more accountability, then it wouldn't be what it is right now.
They don't want to hear that, David. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear close your legs and that you're responsible for sleeping around with Jimmy. And you know Jimmy in prison half of the time, or he ain't never want to be your man in the first place. He got 4 other kids, but you still smashing Jimmy on the weekend, and you ain't even trying to protect yourself. And then you mad at the world because you got 4, 5 kids and 5 baby daddies, and and it's the white man's fault. No, okay. So, and that goes to white people too. You know, stop sleeping and creeping if you ain't ready. You know, let me say this real quick before Bryson get on here. Real quick, Bryson. Being able to have adult relations is a privilege. If you broke, you don't need to be doing that. You can't afford to do that. You gotta, if you got money, you can have as many kids you want because you can afford to take care of them. When you broke, you using my tax money now to try to support what you didn't created when you should have been responsible from the beginning. Anyway, right here. Go down there.
Listen, it's so simple. We stopped shaming thoughts. If we start back shaming thoughts, and I'm gonna shame you, so I'm gonna shame them. If we start back shaming thoughts, then they wouldn't be so quick to open them legs. Listen, and then listen. Even
did you say stop shaving thighs? Is that what you said?
No, stop shaming thoughts.
We stop.
David Harris, that's his generation. Don't know what a thought is.
Listen. We stop. Listen, even with the men, somebody called me today. I ain't gonna say who it was, how close he is to me now, but they said they had an STD scare, and I shamed them. I said, "Do you know who never has to worry about an STD scare because they don't have sex before marriage?" He said, "I don't want to hear your righteous stuff right now." I said, "You need to hear it because I'm gonna shame you for it." So we need more shaming going on.
Speaking truth, yeah.
Speaking truth. All right, here you go. Let me see. One more question here. Please answer. Laugh out loud. What do you think about the critical race theory? I think it's incredibly racist. Well, Charlie Kirk.
Answer their own question.
Let me give Charlie Kirk some props. He was at our church here at Dream City in Phoenix, and he gave an incredible speech. Charlie Kirk is probably one of the best orators or persons who give speeches that I know. I mean, regardless if I agree with everything that he does, sometimes he is the greatest speaker that I know. The guy is incredibly intelligent. He gave a tremendous speech. If I can find it, I'll post it. He talked about the critical race theory and brought it from start to finish, and it is incredibly racist. Now let's be upfront. If you are determining people's outcome, or you're determining how to hire people, you're determining people's personality or who they're going to be, who they should be. You're judging them based on race. That's racist. There ain't no way around it. It's racist. Black people can do it. White people can do it. Asian people can do it. Anybody can be a racist if you are prescribing to that method. What do y'all think?
Yeah, it's definitely a racist thing, and really the core of it, to kind of sum it up to see exactly what it is. White man bad. That's pretty much everything. Everything's a white man's fault. White man's bad, and it's not productive, because that's my thing. It's like, okay, if you're going to put a thing in school or anywhere else, let it be productive. Then it's going to actually build something. If it's not doing that, if it serves the opposite purpose, then what are we doing exactly? We're just trying to score some woke points that don't really translate into anything positive for the people that are being taught this thing.
100%. I agree. What y'all got? Y'all got something?
Yeah, it's evil. It's from the pit of hell. It's divisive. It's destructive. It's trying to shame people based on the color of their skin. It's still racism. It's just racism against white folks, and they're trying to teach this to our kids. A friend of mine that lives in New York said that there's an uprising up there because the high school handed out this pamphlet where they literally wanted the kids to write down all these things that basically said if they were privileged or not. And obviously the color of your skin was on there, and if you have both parents and, stature, other things. And then they're basically saying you need to apologize and wear this shame on you because of who you are. And it's a direct attack and assault on the individual. And that's why it's adding to the identity crisis that's already here. But yeah, it's incredibly racist. It's evil and needs to go. No room for it.
What I think of critical race theory is take your children out of these public schools and never think about critical race theory.
But you know what? But also private schools as well, because there was a guy that was on Fox. He sent his child to a private school paying $55,000 a year, and she was getting taught that same type of stuff. So you got to be careful about.
Let me make my statement more clear. Homeschool your children and never think about critical race theory again.
Yeah, and I'll add to that just real quick, because I never thought about homeschooling, and then I actually was speaking for Charlie Kirk. He couldn't make it to a speaking engagement, and every kid there they were all homeschooled. All of the kids there. A few people that I know homeschool their children, and the Sorbos, they homeschool their children. And some people probably don't know who I'm talking about. But anyway, some of y'all know who I'm talking about, Kevin Sorbo and them. But they homeschool their children. I talked to the wife about it, and she wrote a book about it. But I realized that homeschooling kids is a real viable option these days. And a lot of people probably are intimidated by it, but I will tell you to give it a try, because if these schools are not going to do what they're supposed to do, then the way to hurt the school or to way to show them that they need to either change, you can pull your kids out. And if they don't have the kids, they don't have the funding. And if your kids are at home, you can teach your kids, or you can set up little programs, because they have like teachers. Some homeschool programs, they have a teacher that you can put on the TV, and the teacher can teach through the TV into the home. So if you personally can't do it, you can have that personal homeschooling connection with like a teacher that teaches a bunch of kids. Some people can do it on their own. I mean, you're better off teaching your children than these schools anyway, because they ain't gonna teach your kid how to have no responsibility. They're not gonna teach them how to be bold, have confidence. They're not gonna teach them about money. Your kid is gonna be behind the curve. They're gonna go to school and they're gonna learn geometry, trigonometry, or something, and they ain't never gonna use it. I ain't never used none of that stuff. I know add, subtract, multiply, divide, fractions. That's all I know, in percentages. That's all I never need to know. I didn't need to know how to measure a isosceles triangle or something. It's still wasting my kids' time. Like my kid right now, I got him a credit card. I mean, it's like a kid credit card. I don't want to tell what company it is, because they ain't paying me to do this. But I give my son the credit card, and in the credit card, I give him allowance. He got to do his chores. He click off his chores that he's done them. Obviously, I have his grandma verified. He get the chores done. I pay him an allowance. I can see what he's spending. All of the money I give him automatically go to savings and charity. So he have a charity account, he have a savings account, and it's all on the credit card. I'm teaching him finances. He blew through his money the other day and said, "Daddy, I only have $40 in my account. It was supposed to be 60." I said, "Let me pull it up. You spent $120 on Roblox. So you blowing your money on Roblox."
Justified.
He want to cry. I say, well, you blow your money on Roblox, brother. You got to make sure you save your money. And he automatically had a savings account. So anyway, teach your
They
kids.
don't learn that in school.
Yeah, they never teach you in school, because you behind the curve.
They don't teach you how to balance a checkbook or anything.
Credit. You don't know nothing about credit. And then
credit.
you grow up and you misuse your credit, and then you have bad credit score. If your parents don't teach you because they got bad credit, the school definitely ain't gonna assist in that approach. So, but I'm gonna give everybody. I want everybody to do a shout out again. Yeah, my son love Roblox. He on there, "Daddy, I got $400 billion." And I'm like, "What?" He said, "I got $400 billion on Roblox." I'm like, "Well, how much does it cost?" He's like, "Well, it's free." So now he got $1 trillion because he spent $120 on Roblox. I'm like, I started thinking. I said, "Man, God," I told my wife, I said, "Baby, he blowing my money on Roblox." I meant to give him the money.
Hey, them kids love that Roblox, man. I got a niece the exact same way. Show me her little stuff she didn't build and how to get up there. It was like them kids, they love Roblox. That's their wave.
I'm grown. I'm grown. I'm about to say I'm grown. I'm like that just with the Fortnite. I'm with the second thing ABL said. I spent a lot of money on Fortnite.
My son, a trillionaire on Roblox. I guess it teach him how to manage money too, because he like, "Okay, Daddy, I got this enough to buy this, and then I invested in this." I'm like, "All right, maybe you learning something on that game." Blowing all this little money, man. I'm like, "Are you supposed to be keeping that so you can buy the cool tennis shoes you want, some little bag, all your fun accessories?" Yeah, Roblox. Blowing on Roblox. I'm giving Roblox some. They need to pay me for this advertisement. And my son is blowing all his money on your game. I'm gonna sue y'all in a minute, as soon as I can. But anyway, let me give y'all around to let everybody know it's been almost 2 hours. You know, we used to do the show 2 hours when it was Derek on there. I don't know where Derek at. I text him. I don't know where Derek at. Derek has fell off the face of the earth. And maybe he just making money somewhere in France or something. I don't know where Derek at. But anyway, we all used to be on here. We do 2 hours at a time, you know. But I didn't want to say this, and I gave everybody a shout out. I'll start with my shout out. People may be here and they never heard of me. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like my channel. And then I also have a merch channel. You know, my merch channel is on fire right now. Our shirt just came out. I couldn't find, and Bryson got one. I couldn't find Jesus's Lord shirt. Jesus's Lord shirt is on fire. We had hundreds of people who have got the Jesus's Lord shirt, and it will sell out. It sold out in 30 minutes the first time, so we brought it back. We had to get a whole bunch of inventory. I think we got 1,000 shirts, and it's already been cut down in half. So it's like 500 left. So y'all better get on there and get them before they go out, because it's going to take us time to get it back. ABL got the hat game on fire. So before
I
ABL,
got whatever you need. I got
before ABL slang his hats. I got a book that's out, Beating Black and Blue. It's available for pre-order. So Beating Black and Blue, available for pre-order. The link is in the description section. You can get the signed copy, the non-signed copy, whatever you want. ABL, tell them where they can find you. Tell them how they can get and support you.
Oh yeah, the best way, you go to ablmerch.com. You know, my thing is a hat. So that's why I like, but I got t-shirts, stickers, mugs, hoodies, all kind of accessories. ABL merch, real easy to find. You can search that on Google. Just go straight to the website. Also, go to my normal website, anthonyblogan.com. Everything is on there. If you want these flags, beautiful, handmade, whatever you want, small, medium, large. These are the large size, by the way. If you want anything like that, go to my website, go to the menu, then go to the flag section. It'll take you straight there. So, there you go. See there, ablmerch.com. That's it.
Nice.
See, perfect.
I see you, ABL. I see you got the 1776. Got the white people on here flexing, you know.
Get it all.
I'm best with this. Look nice, man. There's some good stuff. That's pretty
Appreciate
tight,
that, man.
man. Look good, man. Y'all gotta go check. Y'all gotta go check
I'm
that out.
about to buy some. I'm about to buy some of the hats.
I know. I bought where'd I go? I bought the hat that you had on. Did I search for it? No, I know I got this hat. I got 1776.
Okay.
I got this hat. So I got this one. I got it in black, just like this. So y'all go on here. You add it to your cart. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Nice made.
Yeah, Google Pay, Google Play, PayPal, whatever you know, your credit card, whatever you got, nice and secure. So it's all good, man.
Google Pay, more options here.
PayPal? Oh, okay.
Yep, PayPal. Yep.
All right, ABL. Who next? David Harris. What you got, David?
Yeah, you see my handle right there, David J. Harris Jr. That's all my social media stuff. My merch, like this shirt, don't California I got Arizona on, even though I'm in Texas, but I got Texas. I got every state in the country. I got mugs there. I got my book there. Why I Couldn't Stay Silent. This is waking up some folks that are kind of on the fence as far as what they think is going on or what they believe is going on. Shred a lot of the mainstream media's narrative in there. Talk about what I believe the new KKK of today is in there. I get into some deep stuff. Talk about the new civil rights movement, which I believe we're a part of that. But I really get into some good stuff. And my wife's chapter in there is probably my favorite chapter. She shares her story of when she found out that her mom almost aborted her. Her mom literally left the abortion clinic at the last minute and decided to have her. And she didn't find this out until her mom was literally on her deathbed. So I wouldn't be the man that I am without her. And there she is right there.
Beautiful wife.
Got those Are You Kidding Me shirts. Got the Don't California My State shirts, books right in there. And
got the Donald holding the book.
Yep. I gave that to the president at the White House, man. He said, take a picture. People are like, is that photoshopped? I'm like, nope, that's
that was real. I was there.
I was there too.
Yeah, you was there. I was actually taking a video and then I screenshot that shot because I wanted a video. I didn't want to just take a picture. So, but yeah, amazing. He gave me a shout out on Twitter about it when he was still on there. Yeah, that's my store, man. Got some hoodies. I got Refresh, Renew, Revive America shirts, the American flag. I think we need to refresh, renew, and revive America. That shirt's in there and the hoodies are in there.
Awesome.
My wife does a lot of the designs too. So big props to my wife, my bride, Jennifer, for putting it down and putting in some work to put all that stuff together. Most of it.
Yeah, shout out to Jennifer and the two girls, man. You got two beautiful daughters. I mean,
thank you.
You got a good family, good husband, man. Raising them kids right, man. Bryson, what it do?
Listen, everybody went crazy. Once again, I don't got my own stuff on, but look, BrysonCreates.com. If you want my merch, BrysonCreates.com. And if you're already on YouTube, my YouTube is literally what my name looks like on the screen. It's Bryson Gray. I post music on there, and I'm dropping an album May 28th on the gang.
Boom.
MAGA gang.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My boy got the channel on fleek.
Yes, sir.
So y'all already know what it is. You got to jump on there, grab one of these. You had this one on earlier, I think.
Yep.
Get on there, get your color. Y'all got all kind of colors on there. Add that to the cart. They got the big size too, man. We got to get the 4X.
Boom.
They got the thicky smalls on there, so we got to get some thicky smalls going.
They said thicky smalls.
Yeah, thicky smalls.
Nice.
So they doing it big. They doing it big. Let's see. All right, Bryson. I see you.
Yes, sir.
Let me go to the Officer Tatum store. You know, I got my My wife finna start her own store pretty soon, so I'm gonna try to help her build her store.
Oh, I got a cop for Red. She's savage. I love the savagery so much.
My wife way more savage than me. Y'all ain't heard nothing. Me and her need to start a podcast together.
Yes, please, a vlog. It'll go crazy.
This is our bestseller right here, man.
Nice.
Jesus is Lord. Discount code right now, if y'all go on there, is Jesus is Lord discount. You get 15% off. Some of y'all took advantage of Jesus is Lord when I first did it, and it was 30% off, but you missed it. It's 15% off. Jesus is Lord. You can get that. Make men again. We got the women's apparel. We just launched Christ Privileges fire. All these other things are fire. We got flags. We got everything you need. We got everything you need to succeed. And
I was in Florida. Sorry, I was in Florida and I saw a guy there at the Trump Doral out by the pool wearing your shirt.
Oh, really? Which one?
Yep.
Which one? Which shirt?
I was trying to remember which one it is because I'm seeing so many of them now, and that's been like a month ago. But it had your little the Officer Tatum, little signature on it right there.
Yeah, we do our little signature so you know it's me.
Yep.
We got everything, mugs and everything, and then we have a clearance. I think I already had the clearance category. Let's see. We had clearance somewhere on here. Clearance. You get the clearance, you can buy this stuff. I think some of it already sold out, but you can buy stuff on the clearance, 40% off. Clearance 40. You can do that. You can get as much merch as you want, 40% off. All right, man. I appreciate it, man. Y'all know y'all can find these fellas, good men. They do good work. I promised that I was gonna do the super chat, so I'm gonna have to chat with y'all brothers later because I promised my people that I got to do the rest of super chats, and it's gonna take me about an hour to do this. So if y'all, I'll see y'all on the next one. I got y'all phone number. I'll text you. I wish we could chop it up, but I got to do these super chats. It's going to take me a while. So I love you guys, man. Y'all be blessed, man. I'm going to finish up. All right, bro. See y'all later.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you for watching.
Wait. I'm going to pull everybody out. Okay. All right, do super chat because I promise y'all because I love y'all and I'm a man of my word. Okay, Greg, thanks so much for the super chat. Tatum, ABL. I don't know the other two gentlemen late to the session. Yep, it's me, ABL, David Harris Jr., and Bryson Gray. Bryson Gray, we got a fan here. Let's see. No one. Thank you for the $20 super chat. ABL sub here. Really appreciate you guys having this panel. Yeah, we're gonna try to keep doing panels. It may be us, it may be some more people. I want to get some police officers on the panel and talk about some police issues. You guys are the ones that will save our nation. I appreciate it. Jennifer, keep doing what you're doing. God bless. Thank you so much. Larkin, the solution is more police and more training. I like it. Todd, the only police reform needed is for police to uphold their oath to the U.S. Constitution. If they infringe on someone's rights, they should be prosecuted. I agree. Let's see. Toxic. Thank you so much. Sean Hannity mentioned your book today. Wants you on. Really? Sean Hannity reached said something about my book. Okay. If he said something about my book, then that means I should be seeing some book sales. Let me see if he actually said something meaningful about my book, or maybe they were talking about somebody else's book. Let me see. Beaten Black and Blue. Ooh. No, he must didn't say nothing about my book because my rankings was real high, but everybody keep buying my signed copy, so my rankings then dropped, which I'm not too upset about because I want y'all to get what you want. Appreciate that. Let's see, great show tonight. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. We don't need police reform. We need reform in the hood. Poor babies are being murdered. We need better parenting. 2-parent homes. Somebody give him a round of applause. I don't know if my round of applause button is being played. That deserves a round of applause. More religion. Let's see. More religious use songs and music to worship. Worshiping isn't included to congregating. Worshiping isn't inclusive to congregating. Most religions use songs and music to worship. Worshiping isn't inclusive to congregating. I think I know what you're talking about. You can worship on your own. Let's see. Please get AK Nation News on the show. Okay, I'm gonna look that person up. Not sure if you talked about it, but did you see how Portland seemed was pretty close to going hot today. Portland seems was pretty close to going hot today. I didn't see it. I can't click on this link. Back to blue. The donation is for our brave law enforcement officers who keep us safe. Let's see. Here's to the Tatum Fund. All of your brothers are wonderful. Keep up the great and mighty work. I appreciate it, Queen. Thank you so much. If y'all are interested, the Tatum Fund is in the description section. You can go and donate. Our goal is to raise $1 million. We're at 113,000, I believe. Let's see. Franny, thank you so much. Mr. Thank you so much. Got pulled over by a cop the other day. Told him my gun is in the glove compartment. So when I got my registration, he wouldn't be alarmed. Ended up letting me go with the ticket, without a ticket, being black my whole life. 100%, man. It's all a myth, man. I mean, it's just like getting struck by lightning. It could happen to you, but that doesn't mean it's typical. Fantastic 4 right here. Fab 5 with Larry Elder. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Steamers. Hey, brother from another mother. You know, this is not the U.S. I have known for 50 years. Maybe every kid at 18 should be made to join the military, like Israel. Let's see. Please remember Cannon Hennett. I think that's a little kid that got murdered by a neighbor. It was crazy. Is my idea of a solution. Update MVD. I think we read this one already. Create these signs that say you're gonna get a fine if you resist arrest from a police officer or disobey lawful orders. Keep telling the truth. Thank you so much. Let's see. Hammerstein, thank you so much for joining the Tatum Squad. Has anyone ever noticed that Kamala Harris, AOC, and Ilhan Omar are all either married to or with white men? White men. They're all full of crap. Don Lemon, they all married to white people. And they sitting there trying to tell you white people are bad, yet they sleeping with them every night. Amen, amen, amen. LG, thank you so much. The lowly one, let's see. Floyd girlfriend's nickname is Mama, right? Could have been talking about his girlfriend. Jose, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Let's see. Sheepdog. Why are we not talking about fentanyl? I think I read that one. Let's see. We're all broken and nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers. I like that. From my boy Tom McDonald. Mark, thank you so much. Gallon, thanks so much. T-shirt idea. America bless God. God bless the blank out of me. Love one another for Christ's sake. Thank God for Jesus. I agree. George Floyd most likely died from coming down from excited delirium, which I said they never brought it to court. They ruled out excited delirium, but I thought that's what it was. But Chauvin was using excessive force too. I do think Chauvin deserved punishment. I do too. What y'all think about the Maricopa County fraud? I'm not sure. I haven't been following it. I'll get up on it. Love Bryson's so much wisdom. I appreciate it. My least favorite argument is they didn't deserve to die. Like, okay, if you jump into an active volcano, are you going to be surprised if you die? Good explanation. We don't know who deserved to die. That's up to God. Maybe God believed that you deserve to die. That's why you died. Okay, conservatives need to define our mission and be intentional in our messaging. We either believe in our mission message or we don't. 100%. Nancy, thank you. Jose, thank you. Jason, thank you. Great to see you guys back together. Please do this more often. We will. How has Maxine Waters not broke? Please discuss. Let's see. Most menthol cigarette smokers are black men. Tobacco sales, crime, or felony charges. Isn't the black community suspicious at all that Biden is doing it again? You have to be high to not see it. They probably high. Confidence through Godfidence. I can't wait to buy this shirt. It will be fire if you make it, bro. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that. We were talking about that the other day. Dave, thank you so much. Carolyn, thank you so much. Condoleezza Rice, smart black woman. Y'all all need to listen to Home Free. Everyone walk this land. Let's see, 2024 ticket, Trump and Candace Owens. That term is used in too many rap songs. I think you're talking about the N-word. David, thank you for the $50 super chat. B. Tatum, D. Harris, ABL, and BG, Bryson Gray. Love you guys. We love you back. Here's money for the real men to take the time on here and speak sense. Appreciate it. Here's money for real men to take time on here and speak sense. You did it twice. Thank you both times. I will be a racist. This here is the new and improved Eddie Griffith. You go, Mr. Gray. Let's see. Hello from North Carolina, just outside of Elizabeth City. Just wanted to tell you all, I am a 56-year-old woman, and it is great to see 4 sexy, strong men on this panel. All of you, keep up the great work. Love you all. We love you back. Appreciate it. Thank you for Fresno, California. Let go. Let's see. Fantastic, Mr. Knox. Good day, Brandon Tatum. Been following your stuff and laying down under from Australia. Keep up the good work. I think I read the $100 super chat there. Taylor M. Sterling, thank you for the $50 super chat. Gamer with guns, thank you for joining the Tatum squad. Be we. Thanks for just being good dude. Seriously, Bryson, B. Tatum, Alex, and David. Thank you. Alex, maybe you mean Anthony. Maybe is his name Alex? I don't know. It's Anthony Brown Logan is what I thought. Let's see. 4 positive black men. We need more of them. B, listen to Public Enemy by Adam Calhoun. I might check that out. Let's see. Elder Drew, thanks so much. Keep up the good work. Gentlemen. Taylor Sterling, thank you for the $100 super chat. Rita, thank you. Eric, thank you. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Been watching your career grow over the last couple. Good on you. Well done, sir. I appreciate it. Crank, I'm a vet and spill blood in the mud with brothers from all races and hate for who we were, not our race. Why must our nation be this way? It's crazy. I know, man, it's crazy. Do you agree with Article V versus state? Article V state convention is a good idea. Personally do, as it will preserve our constitutional rights and form an unspoken alliance between conservative states. Let me think of what you said. It's the Convention of States. Is that what you're talking about? The V State Convention. I think the Convention of States is what I'm familiar with. I'm in favor of it. It's just hard to articulate it to me. I got to do better at talking about it. Yes, y'all need to do it more often. I appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat. Chili. The people are going to have to get our cameras and recording devices to monitor our elections from here on out, even with reform. Candace Owens for VP. I love that. Thank you so much. I agree with you. Legalize marijuana and make all of the taxes from fund the prison to make it to fund more prisons, more police officers, and better equipment and training for them. Not a bad idea. Kevin, thanks so much for the super chat. Chris, the Democratic Party is using the same tactics as the Nazi propaganda machine leading up to the formation of the third right. I think it's right. Let's see. Please talk about the BIPOC. I hate it. I think you're talking about some little coalition between people of color. I can't think of the acronym, what the acronym means though. Got my Tatum shirt, great quality, soft, very super soft, highly recommended. I appreciate it. All right, I ran through all the super chats. I got to get with my compadres. I don't even know if that's a real word, but I need to talk to my boys after this. Let's see. Hey, Brandon, when it comes to Tatum Squad, I am 10 toes deep. I'm sorry if you answered it already, but did you go back to Fox? Much love. Okay. I think every time somebody answers that question, I'm going to answer it because I think people deserve to hear an explanation of why I started to go back on Fox. So I made the statement a long time ago. Y'all heard me. I was so upset with Fox. I said I'd never go back on Fox again. They can kiss my rear end. I was mad how they treated Trump. I was mad how I felt like they were going left. However, and I turned them down many a times after I made this statement. However, with the whole police thing that's going on in the country, I felt like it was my duty and obligation to speak as much and as far and as often as I can about law enforcement and supporting police. And to be honest, y'all know the truth. Like, I feel like when I go on TV, I'm like the coldest person on TV talking about this. Like, I keep it 100. I said like it is. I'm like the best person talking about this. In my personal opinion, I'm the best person talking about this law enforcement stuff. So I felt like, you know what? I'm going to put my pride aside. I'm going to put what I said aside to a certain degree. and I'm gonna use this to get the voice out to support law enforcement. Anything other than that, of course, you know, I'm upset with the organization. However, I don't think Laura Ingraham is the problem. I don't think Hannity is the problem. You know, I don't think the people that I've gone on is the problem. I think the organization trying to pander, you know what I'm saying? And they got caught pandering under Trump, and I didn't like it. And I feel like they forced their people to say these things. So I could see how some people were, you know, may have been confused or whatever why I did it, but that's the reason why I did it. I made the decision to do it. I believe it's the right decision to do that. And that's pretty much where I'm at with it. And thank you guys for being supportive of it. Most people know that, like, okay, please, you know, this is the thing. Let me explain this to people real quick, because I know most of y'all understand what I'm saying. But sometimes you got to use certain avenues to get what you need to get done. And just like Amazon, my book is on Amazon. We need Amazon. Amazon, if I'm a bestseller, Amazon will promote my book to the rest of the world. I have the best-selling book in the country. I'm not only a capitalist, but I want everybody in the world to get that book. Everybody that want the book to get the book, even if it has to be translated at some point. So that's what I want. And if we do well on Amazon, the book gets in the stores. And if the book is in the stores, then most people can go watch the book. Most people can see it. I mean, go get the book. People can see it. I don't like what Jeff Bezos and some of these other people do. I don't like Bill Gates and some of the stuff they do. However, if they can create an environment of success, then I'm gonna use them to my advantage. Just like YouTube, I think they censor conservatives. I think they be doing some nefarious stuff sometimes. However, I use YouTube to get my voice out there. So if I got to be consistent across the board. So if I'm gonna utilize an organization, which I do not think is fair, YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, and I continue to use them to benefit me and get the word to the people that need to hear it, then I can also do that with Fox and do that with, you know, with Amazon and whoever else I can use to get the message out there. And they're using me too, right? They're going to get a heck of a lot of ratings if they use a black man that talk like I do. Let's see. Officer Tatum is the voice of reason. Country needs more like him. Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, I love you guys. Thank all y'all for buying my book, man. My book is, we sold 1,300 signed copies this week, and the book is it's not released until November. So y'all showed up and showed out, and I appreciate it. I'm not showing up as Tatum Squad anymore. I mean, I'm being charged still. What, man? I should have been 5 or 6 months in. Let's see, Bryce. Write a comment, Bryce. Let me see where you at. Maybe your credit card missed a payment or something. I don't know. I can't control it. I could try to figure out how to get you in, but I don't know what happened. I don't know why that could happen. It seems like that's impossible to happen. So Bryce, write a comment so I can see if you show up as a Tatum Squad person. Yeah, I see it. You have nothing there. You have nothing there. I don't know how that would happen. All right, Bryce, I'm gonna contact my people at YouTube and see if they can figure it out, because that shouldn't have happened unless you quit and came back. Then it starts you over, but you're not even a part of Tatum Squad at all. That's crazy to me. Write me an email at connect@theofficertatum.com. Bryce, write me an email, connect@theofficertatum.com, and I'll remember to make sure I follow up with that. Let's see. Bruce Gender. It's funny, Bruce Gender. Somebody said, "What's the summary of your book?" Oh, so people may not understand or may not know what the book is about. So it's called Beaten Black and Blue. It's being a black cop in America under siege, and pretty much I go through it all. You know, talk a little bit about me growing up, my story, who I am, how I got to this point, which is an incredible story that God has given me with a lot of pain to go with it, but it's an incredible testimony. And then I go into all of the issues with being a police officer. I give you access to real stories that I've dealt with, interview 5 cops that I picked for the book to tell their story and be able to articulate from their perspective what it's like being a police officer in an America that we live in. I address all of the issues. I actually wanted to add this one part, and hopefully let me add it in there, of the history of policing, how it came about. No, it didn't come from slave catchers and all this other stuff. So I'm gonna add that in the book, but we talk about defunding the police. What does that mean? We talk about police brutality and other things that we address in the book. So, and then we give solutions at the very end. And so I think that that's pretty much the synopsis of the book, but it's something that you're not going to hear nowhere else, and nobody's going to keep it real like B. Tatum. And eventually I'll have the audio book out. I just got to wait for the final edits. And then once the final edit is there, I'll know that I'll be reading exactly what you will be seeing. I don't want to end up reading something that you don't see. Somebody said YouTube just notified me. Yeah, the notifications were all weird. I don't know what they probably didn't want me talking tonight. It took forever to get 6,000 people on when we normally have 10, 12,000 people. So let's see. All right, I think I'm done. One more super chat. Let's see. I'm doing this again because you miss reading it. Laugh aloud. I'm broke, but I support all 4 of you. So $5 times 4 is $20. Keep up the keep up the logical news. Now y'all got 40. Hey, I appreciate you. I missed it. I'm sorry. If you did it earlier, the thing don't remember them. Will Caitlin be another Governor Arnold? Nah, I don't know. I don't know. But I love you guys. Go in the store. Jesus Lord shirt is out. My book is out. Go and get it today. I love you guys for all that you do. And if you don't have the money to do it or you don't want the merch, just thank you for supporting me. Thank you for hitting the like button. That's free. Thank you for, writing a comment. That's also free. Well, maybe you got to pay for internet or whatever. But however, that's also free. So thank you. You don't have to spend money to support me. You don't have to do that stuff. It's just that I make stuff that I think you want. And if you want it, buy it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I give people avenues and ways to support. If you don't got it, it's fine with me. It takes nothing to hit the subscribe and like button. That takes nothing. It may take a finger stroke. And if that's all you can do, and that's your part, then thank you. If you can do more, do more. If you can't, I love you anyway. I really appreciate everybody that has supported me. And support don't just go with money. Support goes with comments. Support goes with likes and subscribes and sharing the video. Watching the video. Just watching the video is an avenue in which you can support me. So I love you guys. Shout out to all the mods. I appreciate y'all's hard work. I love you all. I love you. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.